The teams are out onto the field of play here at the racecourse ground, and they're standing astride the halfway line. Wrexham in the red shirts, white shorts and white socks. Doncaster all in black, and both sets of players going through the ritual handshakes. What a noise at the racecourse here. There are plenty of away supporters who've made the trip from Doncaster, but we have Wrexham fans packed in around the commentary position, literally on the row behind us. They're clapping, they're cheering, they're all on their feet, their hands are above their heads, and the racecourse shaking to the sound of 10,000 supporters here, Mickey Gray.
That is brilliant. Absolutely love that. All three stands getting involved in the chanting before the kick-off. That's what you want to see. They've come out to enjoy themselves today, Joe. There's no doubt about it. You can see how many Wrexham shirts there are. It's just brilliant. Well, the players they've got to step up to the plate, haven't they? They've got to perform for this bunch of supporters today, and I'm sure Doncaster, they want to be the party poopers, don't they? They want to upset everything that's happening here today, get off to a bright start and see how this game goes.
Well, sweltering conditions, but Wrexham are looking to turn up the heat on the sides at the top end of League Two. Phil Parkinson's team start the match in mid-table in 13th position, but they've only suffered a single league defeat so far this year. Doncaster Rovers, bottom of the Football League, and looking for their first league victory of the new campaign. We are your home of the EFL. We are Talksport 2. These are the two teams. Howard is the Wrexham goalkeeper. Hayden, Tozer and Boyle the centre-halves. Barnett and McAlinden the wing-backs. O'Connor, Young and Lee in midfield. Palmer and Dalby up front. And for Doncaster, Lawler the goalkeeper. Bailey, Anderson and Olowu the centre-halves. Molyneux and Senior playing in the wing-back positions. Westbrook, Broadbent and Biggins in midfield, and Fowl and Ironside are the two up front. Doncaster will get us underway, playing from left to right in the first half towards that two-tiered university end of the ground with a couple of pillars in the way, away to our right-hand side. Doncaster all in black, and Wrexham in red and white, playing from right to left towards the open end of the ground, the one side, the one of the four sides where there is no stand. We are off and underway, live and exclusive to national radio on Talksport 2, and we'll have goals as they go in as well. Great noise from the Wrexham fans, but it's Doncaster in possession in the very early stages with Joseph Olowu, formerly of Arsenal, plays it square to Tom Anderson, who's got the captain's armband on, and a long ball driven high downfield by the left back Jack Senior. Raking pass up the middle towards Fowl. Wrexham get it away, and now they have the ball on the halfway line with Elliot Lee, who floats it forward. Way too much on that though for Sam Dalby, and it's through to the Doncaster goalkeeper Ian Lawler. We've had 45 seconds of play. Wrexham 0, Doncaster 0, in the most sweltering conditions that we've seen so far this season. Bright sunshine up ahead, and in the bright sunshine of the commentary box, here's Mickey Gray.
Thank you very much, Joe. Well, just having a look at the way that Doncaster have set themselves up, it actually looks like a back four with Senior playing over on the left-hand side, which is a little bit of a surprise for me. They've actually started the game very bright, but I think we are going to see those big, long, diagonal balls when we get the chance.
Wrexham on their attack straight away, crossing from the right-hand side over the head of Palmer. It's come to the back post and McAlinden. McAlinden will control, taking on the defender Bailey, tries to whip it across from the dead ball line. Bailey, the right back, makes a good block. McAlinden teases it back towards Elliot Lee, who's been in excellent goal-scoring form so far this season for Wrexham. Lee with a deft touch towards McAlinden, right in front of our commentary position, which is midway inside the half to the left of the halfway line. So we're right in front of where Wrexham are attacking at the moment. 0-0 the score on Talksport 2 as Lee picks up possession again. McAlinden stabs it forward. Ollie Palmer controls, but is in an offside position. The big burly striker upfield, 6'5", Ollie Palmer, and Dalby not much smaller, but the offside flag is up, and Doncaster have a free kick.
Which is why I was saying, Joe, I think you'll see a lot of diagonal balls coming towards the edge of 18-yard boxes for both sides, because you look at the size of Fowl as well. They must be around 6'4", 6'5" as well. So they've both got big players, but the way the game started so far in the game, they're getting the ball down, they're being patient with their football. You can see Wrexham just getting themselves into some really good positions, waiting to just pounce. Doncaster have been very patient, playing the ball across the back line, looking for that little run in behind.
Earlier in League 2 it finished Bradford 1, Grimsby 1 in another commentary that we brought you live on Talksport 2, and in the National League Halifax 1, Southend United won a full-time score in that 12:30 kickoff. Ball is scooped up the inside left channel by McAlinden, and Ollie Palmer just bullied Alowu out of the way there. The centre half almost crowded out by the big number 9. Alowu then eventually wins it back. Palmer threw himself to ground, looked towards the referee Lee Doughty, who wasn't going to give a free kick, but immediately Alowu's dribbled the ball out of play, and Wrexham have a throw deep inside Doncaster territory, near side of the field. 0-0 the score, but the team in red and white, the home team, the National League champions of last season, have started the game much better.
They certainly have. With his high press, Elliot Lee's the one who triggers it off. As soon as he can see that somebody's losing control of the ball, he pounces on them, and everybody seems to follow.
And here's the centre-half, Ben Tozer, with one of those famous long throws high into the 6-yard box. Doncaster struggled to deal with it initially. Eventually the West Bromwich Albion low knee foul will hammer it high over the halfway line. McAlinden, the covering player, making his first league appearance of the season, let the ball bounce umpteen times, and then a very nervy clearance upfield, hooked over his shoulder by Tozer, miscontrolled by Lee in the middle of midfield. Wrexham nearly give it away, scrambled clear by Aaron Hayden, who was the match winner at Tranmere last weekend in that 1-0 victory, and Doncaster win it back midway inside the Wrexham half. Here is Bailey, near side the right, born in Newcastle, formerly of Gateshead. Early ball to Ironside on the edge of the penalty area, and he couldn't manage to wriggle his way through and get an effort in on goal, and in the end it went straight through to the Wrexham goalkeeper Howard away to our right.
Well, they're a little bit fortunate, Wrexham. Liam McAlinden, he had so much time to clear his lines. He could have played that ball back to his goalkeeper Mark Howard. Well, once you let that ball bounce, players are going to shut you down. They're going to get in front of you and make it really difficult.
Good flick by Palmer down the middle. Dalby trying to get on the end of it. He shrugs aside the defender, forces a save. Palmer tries to get to the rebound, hacked away by Bailey downfield. That was nervy defending again from Doncaster Rovers. Far too easy for Dalby to just shrug aside the captain Anderson, and they go up the two of them for a header inside the penalty area again now. This time Anderson just about gets the better of Dalby, but Doncaster looked like they had a soft centre through the middle. Grant McCann already making his way from the seats in the dugout to the edge of his technical area. All Wrexham early on. Wrexham 0, Doncaster 0 live on Talksport 2.
Well, you can see that Grant McCann's a little bit frustrated, but it's just the two boys up front for Wrexham. They're a handful. Dalby and Palmer making a nuisance of himself. Just get in front of your marker. And I think what Grant McCann's got to try and do, because of the physical presence of the two guys up front for Wrexham, is just drop one of the midfield players in front of the strikers, because they're just dropping balls into them. They're being able to hold the ball up. It's so hard to defend against once your centre forwards get involved in the play.
Phil Parkinson is the Wrexham boss, the man who led them to 111 points in that remarkable National League season last year. And he did say in his pre-match press conference, did Phil Parkinson, that 1-0 victory over Tranmere last weekend and a first clean sheet of the league season was really important because it showed Wrexham's resilience. Yes, they've scored plenty so far this season, Mickey, but they've conceded plenty as well, particularly at home, and I think the clean sheet last weekend in victory will have been really important to him.
No, absolutely. Sometimes it's as good as winning a game, certainly for confidence for your defenders as well. And look, I think they've conceded more goals than anybody in the division so far, Joe. That has got to change. It's about getting that balance right from back to front, which I talked about. Look, they're always going to score goals, even if it's not the 11. We talked about the bench, didn't we, with Paul Mullen and Stephen Fletcher about to come onto the pitch probably in the second half. So they're going to win football matches, but you've got to keep clean sheets if you've got any chance of getting to the top of the table.
Extraordinary bench that Wrexham have got for League 2 as Broadbent for Doncaster floats it over the top, and Fowler's taken it in his stride. The angle is tight, blocked by Tozer initially, and then Fowler hits the side netting with the rebound. Lovely bit of control from the young striker on loan from West Bromwich Albion, still seeking his first Doncaster goal. He plucked it out of the air neatly. Tozer slid in to make a good block, and then Fowler at the second attempt again from a tight angle could only find the side netting, Mickey.
Well, that would concern me, because that's just a floated ball from right back position over the top of your back line, and Ben Tozer has got to shuffle across to his left hand side to make a last ditch challenge on Mo Fall. He didn't have to do anything to work hard to get on the ball, and that's something, if you've got a high line, you've got to be able to be quick if you're going to turn over your shoulder.
And that's a backheader from Tozer to the gloves of his goalkeeper Mark Howard, the very experienced goalkeeper who did lose his place in the side to Ben Foster at the back end of last season, but is now retaining that number one spot at Wrexham after Foster's retirement earlier this season. We have the first goal of the day in League Two. It's come at Crawley. They lead Newport by a goal to nil, and Swindon 1, Sutton 0. Also a latest score. Sutton, who are really struggling, they've lost their last 5 in the league, and Swindon, who remain unbeaten this season. So Swindon 1, Sutton 0, a latest score, as Wrexham win a corner on the near side of the field, right in front of our commentary position at that open, empty end of the stadium, and across comes the captain, Luke Young, to take it.
Well, if Joseph Olowu thought he was coming back into the starting 11 to as an evening afternoon, another thing is going to be so difficult for him today.
They're really being bullied so far, Doncaster, as Young swings the corner into the penalty area, punched away one-handed by the goalkeeper Lawler. All in sky blue, the Doncaster number 1 made a good save already today to deny Dalby. It's whipped back into the box by Barnett, headed down by Dalby for Wrexham, smuggled away though upfield by Ironside for Doncaster, only as far as the lip of the centre circle. McAlinden with a high looping pass up into the bright blue sky, and then Young from the edge of the penalty area smuggles it forward into the box to Boyle. Rebound comes back to Young, deflected effort is blocked. Wrexham still on the attack, 0-0 the score. We're in the 9th minute. Here's Elliot Lee, corner of the penalty area, dancing feet to drift away from 2 in Doncaster black. Lee plays it square to the edge of the box now. Tozer looks up. Doncaster, everyone behind the ball. Floated ball by Tozer, slightly overhit, looking for his centre defensive colleague Will Boyle. He couldn't stretch to meet it. Doncaster have a goal kick, 0-0 the score.
Well, the pressure's just relentless from Wrexham. Doncaster can't get out of their own half. If they do, it's a long ball over the top, but other than that, they've made silly mistakes. And Wrexham are just there to pick up the pieces. Luke Young keeping the pressure on, got his shot away, but didn't really get enough pace on his shot. But even Tozer, the centre-half, coming up and putting a lovely ball into the box. Doncaster have just got to maybe readdress and just play a few longer balls just to stretch the pitch a little bit, but they can't get a breather at the moment.
Grant McCann has made the point that performances are improving, and it was a creditable 0-0 draw at home to Swindon last weekend for Doncaster Rovers, particularly given they were down to 10 men for 45 minutes after Tommy Rose sending off. Header away by Olowu at the right of the 2 centre-halves, and then a foul in the middle of midfield by Lee on George Broadbent, who signed in the summer from Sheffield United to join Doncaster, and Doncaster have a free kick in their right-back position. 10 minutes gone, 0-0 it remains. Lots of live football, as I say, over the next few weeks on the Talksport network. Over the entire season, we've got 450 live commentaries. The place to be for all the build-up and reaction every day of the week is Talksport Breakfast from Monday morning at 6 o'clock. Some terrific guests earlier this week, including Brendan Rodgers and the top goal for Tommy Fleetwood. Ashley Young will be on the show on Thursday morning with Alan Brazil. And of course, after breakfast, 10 till 1 every weekday on Talksport, Jim White and Simon Jordan, and they will have Ange Postecoglou, the Tottenham boss, on the show on Tuesday. Some top guests across the Talksport network this week, next week, and across the course of the season as well. A 0-0 here between Wrexham and Doncaster in our second live commentary of the day on Talksport 2. Tozer has possession for Wrexham, who've almost completely dominated the game so far. Had all of the possession, albeit Doncaster did have that half chance for Mo Fowl at the other end, but much of the game is being played in the half to the left of the halfway line, the half that we're much closer to here. And Doncaster have possession, they settled the game down, and I guess the key to managing the game, or part of the key to managing the game, Mickey, is trying to quell the atmosphere in the stands as well.
Yes, absolutely, and conserve your energy as much as you possibly can. It doesn't really look like Wrexham want to do that. They want to try and get themselves in front as quick as they possibly can, but going back to moments, and Doncaster have had a very good one in Mo Fowl. They might be few and far between, Joe. When those chances come around, you've got to capitalise on it. You have to hit the target. You've got to try and get yourself on the score sheet, give yourself maybe something to hang on to.
Crawley Town 1, Newport County 1, a latest score. Equaliser coming quickly for the South Wales side. Newport, who are unbeaten in their last 3 matches in League 2. Crawley, no victories in their last 3 in the league, and 1-1 the score. Here is Bailey for Doncaster again in that right-back position. Plays it square to Olowu with the white boots on. Doncaster all in black today.
See, I don't mind this. Doncaster at the moment are just playing the ball across the back with no pressure on them whatsoever. They're waiting for one of the forward Wrexham players to come out, and then they'll start leaving gaps. Well, look, I talk about the heat, and we probably will do throughout the whole of this game, Joe, because it's not going to go away. You've got to be patient.
Colchester 1, Tranmere 0, a latest score in a clash of The two sides very much struggling early on in the season, a real bottom-of-the-table clash at Colchester today, but they lead Tranmere by an early 0-0, and you're up to date across the Talksport network. The ball is played forward up the inside right channel for Wrexham, and Dalby's in here. Out came the goalkeeper Lawler to spread himself at the feet of the striker and just about get there first, but Sam Dalby looks like he's got the beating of Tom Anderson every time whenever Wrexham come forward, as Hayden gets in front of Fowl. Heavy touch from Fowl on that Doncaster left, and Wrexham building a counter in that slither of shade on the far side of the field, but Palmer's given it away, and now Molyneux looking to dart through the middle for Doncaster. Sliding in is Elliot Lee, firm but fair to win it back, at least initially off Ironside, then a header away by Hayden after Broadbent looked to float it crossfield from right to left to find Fowl, and Wrexham have it back in their right wing back position almost. It's teased back by Young to find Hayden, who pumps it long up towards Dalby again. Anderson got just enough on it, and Alowo is there to send it back to the goalkeeper as Barnet, top of the National League, take the lead in their game at home to Altrincham, and Barnet's good start to the season continues. Here's Mickey Gray.
Well, a moment ago, just seen an absolutely fantastic ball, didn't we, from Ryan Barnett down that right-hand side. Just floated it round the last centre-half of Doncaster Rovers, and then you've got Sam Dalby just running in behind, using his body strength and inches away from getting on the end of it. Good goalkeeping, I have to say, from Ian Lawler.
He started the game well. Here is Fowl. Inside left channel looking to maraud infield for Doncaster, and he shoots from range, and that's a decent save by Howard, who wasn't expecting the snapshot from a long way out from Fowl. He must have been 35 yards from goal as he struck it with real venom, and it came through a crowd of bodies, and Howard got just enough on it, two-handed, to push it away from danger.
Well, only Mark Howard will know this, but I'm sure his hands are stinging at the moment, because Mo Fowl didn't half get the laces through that one. It was a super strike. Fortunately for the goalkeeper, the Wrexham goalkeeper, he had fantastic position just to parry that one away. Didn't really have to catch it first time. There was no pressure on him. Mark Howard must be asking questions to his defenders to say, look, you know, I don't mind making saves, but I don't really want to make too many this afternoon.
Slight sense of some impatience in the Wrexham ranks. We have supporters packed in all around us here in the stadium. We're sat in the main stand, or the dressing room side of the ground, as Ironside floats the ball down the right hand side for Doncaster, who are having a good spell, and Fowl looks really lively here. He's held it up with his back to goal, about 10 yards from the dead ball line, looks to turn in field, blocked off by McAlinden. McAlinden will clear only as far as Bailey. Bailey plays the ball in field, and it's picked up by Zane Westbrook, who gets in front of Sam Dalby and lays it square to Senior. It's a lovely move by Doncaster, and Ironside has been put through. Ironside will put it in the net, but the flag is up on the near side of the field. A free kick to Wrexham, but I think Grant McCann will be really encouraged by some of the football that the visitors are starting to play. 15 minutes gone, Wrexham 0, Doncaster 0.
Well, there's no doubt for Doncaster it's been a bit of a slow burner start, but they're starting to show signs now where they're getting in between a centre-half and a full-back. Foul on a couple of occasions, but this time Joe Ironside, beautiful ball inside, wasn't it, from Senior, I think, with his left foot. Great first touch, just in an offside position. Again, super play from Doncaster, starting to grow into this game.
Joe Ironside, who you might remember, scored a famous FA Cup winning goal for Cambridge United in the early rounds at Newcastle a couple of seasons ago. In fact, in one of Eddie Howe's first games in charge at Newcastle. And the applause you can hear is because there are Wrexham players, the substitutes, who are just going through a warm-up on the near side of the field. Not that you really need to warm up much in these sort of conditions. Over 30 degrees, and the racecourse is baking in the sunshine. Mickey Gray is topping up the tan. I'm not sure whether I am to the same extent.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, look, never complain when the sun shines, do you? But I'm just looking at that one change that Wrexham have made over on the left-hand side. James McLean obviously not able to play today through injury, I think it is, Joe. But McAlinden's really struggled in the early part of this game, hasn't he, on the left-hand side?
Here's Molyneux on the Doncaster left, driving in field from the far side as we look at it, the Mould Road side of the ground. Plays it square to Bailey. Set-out crowd of 10,000 at the racecourse again today. Phil Parkinson, the Wrexham boss. I can see him in his white shirt and black trousers on the edge of the technical area as Doncaster come forward again. Clearance out of play by Boyle, right in front of the Doncaster fans, who unusually are on one side of the stadium. Not unusually at the racecourse ground, but generally speaking, you picture the away fans as being behind the goal. They're not. They're on the far right side of the main stand here.
Not unusual, I think you said there, Joe. Are you throwing Tom Jones songs in now, are you?
Well, it wasn't intentional,
it's a bit
but
early for that.
I can keep them coming, Mickey, if you like. Here's Molyneux down by the corner flag. Doncaster looking to win a throw, and they do so. A couple of pillars in this main stand. The Doncaster fans are on their feet, a couple of them with their shirts off. It really is that kind of weather. Stevenage 1, Carlisle United 0. A latest score in League One. Stevenage, you've had an excellent start to life back in League One under Steve Evans. Carlisle struggling so far this year, as Wrexham deal with the throw into the penalty area from Doncaster, and the ball is played back by Dalby to McAlinden, who just scoops it long, belts it high downfield. Anderson can control that, watching it down onto his right boot, turns away neatly from Palmer, and Doncaster have possession. 0-0 it remains in the 19th minute. Salford 1, Walsall 0, a latest score in League 2.
Joe, I don't know if you're in agreement with me, but it doesn't take long, does it, for these Wrexham supporters? They're very demanding, aren't they?
Yeah.
When there's a pass goes astray, they get a little bit frustrated. I think there's got to be a bit of patience moving forward, because they've scored so many goals and got so many points last season. I know they've just got a half a chance here, Doncaster, but it's been cleared. But yeah, they're going to have to be patient.
Well, as you say, Mickey, a champions last season, Wrexham, 111 points, 34 wins, just 3 defeats, 116 goals. Expectations are high, and rightly so. Actually, well, in the last 5 games, there's certainly been an improvement from a Wrexham perspective, certainly after that opening day defeat here against Milton Keynes Dons. Oxford City 0, Hartlepool United 1 in the National League, and Swindon have taken a 2-goal lead now against struggling Sutton in League 2. Swindon 2, Sutton 0. Wrexham have cleared the ball away with toes. A little scrappy, this passage of play. It's all happening in the middle third of the field.
Yes, it has. It's gone scrappy, and I don't want to keep picking on Liam McClendon over on this left-hand side, but I think he's just got to play a couple of simple passes. He obviously came into the team, he wants to impress, and as I'm speaking, he's given the ball away again. You know, if you keep trying the hard ball when you're not playing well and you haven't started the game well, things get worse, they don't get better. You've just got to try and play your way through it. Just compose yourself a little bit, because the rest of his side are doing really well, but when the ball comes over to this left-hand side, he looks a little bit nervy to me.
Well, his only appearance of the season so far came on Tuesday night in the win over Newcastle's under-21s in the EFL Trophy. And that's a foul by Lee, not for the first time today, on Bailey. And Lee's going to be called over here by the referee, Lee Doughty. This is Elliot Lee, who has had an excellent scoring start to the season, the former Luton player. And the card is being taken out of the pocket by the referee. The card will be a yellow one, but I think Elliot Lee, perhaps not entirely surprising there, is book, Mickey.
Yeah, look, I think it was a little bit harsh. I've got to be honest with you. I think in the game it's been quite physical, certainly in that midfield position. And Elliot Lee's been a part of it all, to be honest with you. I mean, he's the go-to man, isn't he, when they find themselves under pressure, which he's had a great start to the season. His studs were up a little bit high, but I think there's got to be a little bit of leeway in the game. You know, we talked about the heat. It's good. Players are going to get frustrated today, Joe, and players are going to get challenges wrong, and I think this is where the referee, Lee Doughty's got to have a little bit of leeway with everybody.
Well, at times there's a relatively slow pace to the game. That, you feel, will suit Doncaster as the away team, if nothing else. Fowler's juggled the ball brilliantly into opposition territory. He's then been brought to a halt by Luke Young, the Wrexham captain, and that's a free kick to Doncaster about 6 yards into opposition territory. Woking 0, Solihull Moors 1 is the latest score in the National League. Solihull, the only side in the National League who are still unbeaten, and in the Rugby World Cup, Ireland 33, Romania 8 is a half-time score. The Talksport network will bring you comprehensive coverage of the Rugby World Cup 2023. And on Talksport 2 tomorrow, we've got 3 commentaries for you from the NFL, as the NFL returns to the Talksport network as well. Free kick Doncaster, just inside the Wrexham half, floated crossfield by Westbrook on the diagonal. It's headed away by Palmer, tracking back for Wrexham. They've got everybody behind the ball, the team in red and white, and Doncaster will win a throw in the right wing position, level with the edge of the 18-yard box. We're midway through the first half. Wrexham 0, Doncaster 0, and certainly Mickey Gray, former Sunderland defender, alongside me. Grant McCann of Doncaster will be the happier of the two managers.
Well, certainly over the last 7 or 8 minutes, absolutely, yeah. They've had some real good 1v1 opportunities in front of that Wrexham goal. But when they get a chance, as he just did a moment ago, to put the ball into the box, don't upset your centre-halves and your centre-forwards. Put that ball into the danger area. But when it comes back out, the second phase, George Broadbent, he's got the chance to put that back into the box with his right foot on the volley. Then he's got to beat two players. They clear the ball, and that momentum just goes a little bit. You've got to try and keep the pressure on this back line of Wrexham when you're on top in the game.
Well, they've won a corner here, Doncaster, and then 5 or 6 players in black charge into the penalty area as it's taken short. Back to Zane Westbrook, the initial taker. His delivery is turned over the top by Anderson. Big chance for Doncaster. Anderson, head in his hands, edge of the 6-yard box, right-footed on the volley. It goes over the top, and the referee, I think very sensibly here, is going to call a halt to play and allow both sets of players to come over to take on some water. We're midway through the opening half. Wrexham 0, Doncaster 0. Just a couple of goals to tell you about elsewhere. Eastleigh 0, Gateshead 1, a latest score in the National League. Stevenage 1, Carlisle 1 in League 1. That's an equaliser for Carlisle at Stevenage. Kidderminster Harriers 1, Rochdale 0. Kidderminster, who started the day just outside the bottom 4, where they lead Rochdale by a goal to 0. Bromley 1, Maidenhead 0 is the latest score. And you are up to date around the grounds around the country in the EFL, in League 1, in League 2, in the National League, live on Talksport 2. So Doncaster having a good spell, Mickey Gray. It's interesting actually to see the players not just take your water, but wrapping cold towels around their necks, around their heads as well. Certainly a good spell this for the visiting team.
No, absolutely, yeah. I think Grant McCann will be pretty pleased with what he's seen of late from his side. They look as if they've calmed themselves down a little bit. And we touched on this, didn't we, the water breaks? I'm sure, look, it had to happen, didn't it? But I think, you see the cloths coming out of the ice bucket there, they've been dipped in ice and water just to calm and cool the players down. It's just crazy hot out there, and the players maybe want to, they want a long burst and run 70 yards down either wing, and you just can't do it, Joe. You've got to think to yourself, well, if I run 70 yards forward, it's going to take me about an hour to get back.
Well, these are oven-like conditions. It's really sweltering in September. Saturday afternoons for you on the Talksport network. Goal to tell you about in the National League, by the way. York City, who are the only team in the National League yet to win so far this season, but they lead Boreham Wood by a goal to 0. Well, the drinks break is over. A couple of minutes or so. Both sets of players will give back those cold, wet towels and the water bottles as well. They'll go back into the ice box. We've all taken on some water here in the commentary box too. And we'll get back underway. I mean, it's difficult for momentum, of course, in the game when you have these drinks breaks, but it's a very sensible decision made by the match officials on a weekend like this. Lots of people milling about in the stands as well. We're in the sunny part of the stadium here, in the main stand side, left of the halfway line. But it's a great pleasure, as always, to bring you live football on Talksport 2, as ever. More live football from the EFL, from the Championship, by the way, to come next Friday night. Leicester away at Southampton. We've got full commentary, and next weekend on the network, commentaries include Wolves against Liverpool, Man United against Brighton, Cardiff against Swansea, and Millwall against Leeds. The game is back underway. 26 minutes on the clock. Wrexham playing from right to left, Doncaster from left to right. Here come the home team in there, red and white. It's floated forward up the inside left channel by Boyle. That's a poor pass. He actually turns and apologises to the dugout and to Ollie Palmer, who was never going to reach that, the number 9. Goal kick to Doncaster away to our left.
Yeah, got to show better quality there, William Boyle. No pressure on him whatsoever. He's got Dalby and Palmer just to aim for, and he tries to play that cute ball down the left-hand side when it didn't really need to be.
That's a miscued header initially by Boyle. Almost ended up at the feet of Fowl, who was about 30 yards from goal for Doncaster Rovers. He won it back midway inside opposition territory. Good bit of control by Fowl to juggle the ball away from Young. And Doncaster looking calm and composed in possession here, and slowing the pace of the game whenever they get the opportunity. And you can totally see and understand the reasons why they're doing that. And there's a frustration starting to envelop the racecourse ground. Some of the Wrexham supporters increasingly upset with their team. Swindon 3, Sutton 0, a latest score elsewhere in League 2. 3 goals in the first 23 minutes for Swindon Town, who are going to surely remain unbeaten this season in the division. The ball is hammered downfield by Barnett for Wrexham. Chested down powerfully by Palmer into the path of his strike partner, Sam Dalby. Dalby back out wide to the right-hand side, and Barnett is forward again. Wrexham looking to set the racecourse ground alight. Whipped in high by Barnett, over the head of Lee. It'll drop to McAlinden at the far post. Dead down by the dead ball line. Taking on Bailey, held up by Bailey. McAlinden has to retreat. He's led with the edge of the 18-yard box. Back it goes to Young. Now McAlinden again, directly in front of our commentary position. We're only about 10 rows or so from the edge of the pitch. Young recycles possession. Back it goes to Tozer. Good shape and good organisation off the ball from the team in black, Doncaster Rovers. But Wrexham are coming forward again. Palmer's so difficult to win it back off. He holds it up so impressively. But between them, Westbrook and Alowu do enough. And Alowu, the former Arsenal centre-half, will scoop it long towards halfway. Ironside will bring it under control. And you have to say Doncaster at the moment don't look like a bottom of the table side at all.
They've been excellent. They look really patient in the back of their minds, and Grant McCann's probably saying, well, look, we're the away side. It's Wrexham who've got to come out. They've got to take the game to us. They're the ones who've got to come up with the answers if they're going to break us down. And I think they played it really well, Doncaster over in this first half. Albeit a slow little start, but see the way they're passing the ball around at the back now, Joe, just getting that little breather when you need it. And the chances will come, which they have done so far.
Oh, it's a miscue headed away by Anderson. Dalby from 30 yards has brought it down. Racing clear. He's tripped, is he, by Anderson on the retreat? No, says the referee. No free kick given. Dalby had no support from his teammates. Doncaster get it away. There's a nervy moment again for the captain, the centre-half, Tom Anderson. But Doncaster survive, and Dalby left frustrated. Was there any cause for complaint there, Mickey Gray? Should have had a free kick.
I have to say, Joe, Sam Dalby's in on goal. He's about 90, he's just outside of the 18-yard box. It's on his right foot, it's favourite, it's just bouncing beautifully for him. It's a great ball over the top. He's got to take the shot on. As a centre forward, your eyes must be lighting up seeing that goal in front of him. He's tried to work the ball onto his left foot. He's then lost the ball. There was a bit of contact, but not for a foul for me. Then he's starting to wave his arms around to say, well, where's my foul? It wasn't a foul. You've got to get on with the game, but those moments, they don't come around, and when they do, you've got to pounce on it. He should have taken that shot on.
Eastleigh 0, Gateshead 2, a latest score. Sam Dalby has got a real opportunity for Wrexham, or certainly has done since the start of the season, of course, in the absence of the injured Paul Mullin, who is back on the bench today, and the new signing Stephen Fletcher as well. Dalby's only goal so far this season was here on Tuesday night in the EFL Trophy. There's a problem at the moment for Aaron Hayden, the Wrexham centre-half, who's being treated, and that's a worrying sight for Wrexham because he has only recently returned from a calf injury that kept him out, or that had kept him out since January, but thankfully it's good to see he's back on his feet. And Hayden, well, he's going to have to come off. That's a real shame. I was going to say that he looked like he might be able to continue, but Wrexham don't want to take any chances with a player that's only recently returned to action. And Phil Parkinson's team, with a score at 0-0, half an hour gone, are forced into the first change. And Max Cleworth, who's a relatively local lad, born just a few miles north in Chester, is the man who's going to come on.
I just wonder whether it's a reoccurrence, Joe, of that calf problem that Hayden's had there, because as he went to ground there, you could see he was shaking his head, and the physio went straight across, started waving his arms around just to basically say, look, we need to make a change. And it's a shame, isn't it? Well, he's got himself on the score sheet last weekend. He wanted to continue in this one, but that change in the first half has come pretty early. Now it's an opportunity for, let's call him the local boy, shall we? Max Cleworth.
Well, he came through the youth setup, so Chester born, but Wrexham through and through. And Mansfield into the lead on the road, into the lead again in League 2, away at Accrington Stanley. Accrington 0, Mansfield 1. Mansfield still unbeaten in League 2 so far this season, has an excellent start to the campaign. Nigel Clough's side, goals going in all around the grounds, all around the country. That's the biggest cheer of the day. It's because Paul Mullin is going to warm up. Wow, I've never heard a cheer like that for a substitute warming up before. He's worshipped like a god in this part of Wales, Paul Mullin. 38 league goals last season. He's not even got on the pitch yet, Nicky Gray.
That's fantastic, isn't it? I have to say, I think things have gone a little bit flat in the crowd because Wrexham haven't performed over the last 10 to 12 minutes. And maybe they needed Paul Mullin to come off that bench just to come and have a little bit of a warm-up, because the buzz is back, isn't it?
Great noise from the Wrexham supporters. Mullin, who was injured in pre-season, may well come on. Wrexham 0, Doncaster 0. Nothing really happening in the game. Certainly since the drinks break that we've had 32 and a half minutes of play, but the game being played at a rather lethargic pace. The conditions, the sheer heat, these oven-like conditions really are quite energy-sapping, so it's understandable really that the pace has slowed. Wimbledon 1, Stockport 0, our latest score elsewhere in League 2. Wimbledon, another team, have had an excellent start to the new league season, and they are unbeaten so far. Stockport, who've struggled for points in this campaign up to this stage. Just one league win so far this season for Stockport County. Throw to Doncaster, far side of the field. Jack Senior with the golden boots on will take it, playing it. Left back, the former Halifax player. Played in all 7 league matches for Doncaster now so far this season. Hooked over his shoulder for the clearance by Young for Wrexham. Palmer's held it up and laid it wide left to McAlinden. Near side of the field being urged to take on Bailey. McAlinden tried to go on the outside. Bailey got back with a tackle. Wrexham have a throw 0-0.
It was like McAlinden didn't actually want to take on the fullback, wasn't it? It was great play, great hold-up play from Palmer. And just trying to do the little give and go here down the left-hand side. But you've got to make the pitch wide, you've got to make it big, but this is where your centre forwards come into play. Holding that ball up well, then you need runners off them. Well, they've certainly got that, Wrexham. Just need that quality now in the final third.
Wrexham have it on the halfway line now with Tozer, the big number 4. Ben Tozer, formerly of Cheltenham, Northampton and Newcastle United at a point earlier in his career. Header on the halfway line by McAlinden, infield towards the middle of the pitch. Elliot Lee, who was fouled by Westbrook. Westbrook, the former Bristol Rovers man, was all over Elliot Lee. Free kick, middle of the Doncaster half, and Wrexham will send the 3 centre-halves forward.
Well, I have to say, Joe, I know you can't do it, but I wonder why Elliot Lee hasn't had a word with the referee there to say, well, look, you've given me a yellow card. How comes Westbrook hasn't been put in the book himself? I mean, it's a decent free kick that Wrexham have got now. Put it into the danger area and see how many Doncaster players are in a line to stop this ball going over the top because of the physicality that Wrexham have.
And the inconsistency in refereeing has been frustrating so far. Ball floated in by Young, taken high above his head by the goalkeeper Ian Lawler. It was a poor free kick by Luke Young. Too much on it and not exactly fizzed into the box, and goalkeeper came out to make an easy take. And actually that early save to deny Dalby a side, Lawler's had a relatively comfortable afternoon so far.
He certainly has. I think both goalkeepers are probably a little bit relieved, aren't they, Joe? I think one thing that looking out on the pitch, and it's those balls coming into the box which both keepers have dealt with very well. There's no cap on show. I know you're sat in the commentary box here with yours on because the sun is shining down. Just wonder whether the goalkeepers or how they're getting away with it.
It's a very good point, that. Both looking up into the sunshine. Neither deciding to wear a cap, at least so far. Long ball up the middle by McAlinden for Wrexham. Far too much on that towards Dalby. 1 or 2 boos and whistles from the home supporters. That frustration that you hear again. I remind you of the latest scores around the grounds around the country. If you don't hear your game, it means it's goalless. In League 1, Stevenage 1, Carlisle United 1 is the latest score. League 2, Bradford 1, Grimsby 1, a full-time result from earlier. We brought you commentary on Talksport 2 elsewhere in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Accrington 0, Mansfield 1, Wimbledon 1, Stockport 0, Colchester 1, Tranmere 0, Crawley 1, Newport 1, Salford 1, Walsall 0, Swindon 3, Sutton 0. And in the National League, Halifax 1, Southend 1, a full-time score. In the 3 o'clock games, Barnet 1, Altrincham 0, Bromley 1, Maidenhead 0. Now the goalkeeper there, as the ball was played back to him by Alowu, he bent down as if to pick it up, then he remembered at the last minute it was a back pass. Did he? Well, he pulled out in time enough for the referee, did Lawler there.
Well, I think Alowu was just going to let the ball run towards his goalkeeper, but at the last moment played the ball back to him. But then you're looking at Dalby and thinking, well, you've got to now close the goalkeeper down.
Wrexham on the attack with Ryan Barnett down the far side, the right, swings in the cross, Palmer's header, saved by the goalkeeper, rebound is stopped as well. Elliot Lee left-footed, denied by Ian Lawler. Double save from the Doncaster goalkeeper. Still 0-0. 37th minute. McAlinden scoops it across. Barnett's far post. Heads it down. Young is there. And it's blocked. And it's hit the post and gone in. It's such a desperately unlucky goal for Doncaster to concede. Deflection off Anderson. Might well go down as an own goal. It hit the captain. It hit the post. And it came off Lawler before going into the back of the net. A messy goal for Doncaster to concede. But Wrexham almost out of nothing, finally have the breakthrough. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 0.
Well, that's the pressure that these Wrexham supporters have been waiting for, isn't it? Super play down the right side. What a ball into the box. Ollie Palmer just shoved away his marker, headed that down. He did everything right with his header. Great save from Lawler. Then the follow-up was Elliot Lee on his left foot. He's already got 5 this season, trying to get his 6th. He's done everything again right with his left foot. Got a bit of pace behind it. They clear their lines, but then just keep it alive, don't they? Doncaster needed to clear the lines, but when it felt, it was Luke Young, wasn't it? That little deflection as the ball was going into the back of the net. There wasn't really much that Lawler could do to keep that out. He tried to palm it out with his hands, but you could see from where we are, the ball had went across the line. And that's what Wrexham have been wanting, trying to get themselves in front, so now they can start to dictate this game.
Well, Luke Young, as you say, Mickey, struck it goalwards. It took a massive deflection off Anderson and then hit the post, and the goalkeeper clawed at it but couldn't prevent it from going in. It could well go down as an own goal. Young will certainly be claiming it, hasn't scored since January. Either way, Wrexham lead Doncaster by a goal to 0, and indeed Young has been credited with it despite the big deflection of Anderson. Ball is played forward up the middle by Broadbent for Doncaster, intercepted on the edge of the penalty area by Cleworth, who's just come on the centre half, and now Wrexham on the attack, looking for their second. And when your luck's against you at the foot of the Football League as Doncaster are, it really is against you, and we saw that in the goal that separates the two teams. And now Wrexham have their tails up, and they've got a free kick in the right wing position. Latest scores elsewhere: Oxford City 1, Hartlepool 1, equalised for Oxford City. Mansfield lead at Accrington by 2 goals to 0. Sutton with a goal back at Swindon, but they still trail by 3 goals to 1. And Forest Green have taken the lead against Crewe Alexandra in League 2. Forest Green lead by a goal to 0, having lost all 3 of their home league matches so far this season. Free kick Wrexham, level with the edge of the 18-yard box on that far side of the field, and plenty forward in red and white. Well,
it's another great opportunity, isn't it? When you've got momentum, got yourselves in front, then why not try and capitalise on it and get the second goal? But it was all down to just peer pressure from Wrexham.
It's going to be taken by Tom O'Connor to whip it left-footed into the near post. That's a poor delivery, headed away with ease by Mo Fowl of Doncaster Rovers, and Doncaster have got to organise and try and go again. But Wrexham are so often such an unstoppable machine, particularly at home. That blip on the opening day here against MK Dons, but last season they were undefeated at the Racecourse Ground in the league. And the home supporters have had another goal to celebrate today. 1-0 they lead. Throw to Wrexham now on the far side. Ben Tozer will herd it in long, as is his trademark, headed away by Harrison Biggins at the near post for Doncaster. Poor clearance by Molyneux, trying to divert it further clear. In the end he got enough on the header at the second attempt. It's come back on the near side to McAlinden, just inside opposition territory. Great ball in, and it's skimmed off the head of Anderson, and it's gone behind for a Wrexham corner. 40.5 minutes played. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 0. The home team are turning the screw, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, they certainly are. What a ball from McAlinden over on this left-hand side. I'm kind of pointing in the direction of him to put it in the box. He didn't let anybody down. He fizzed it in there with a lot of pace, and it was there. But just one of those Wrexham forward players just to get anything on it and direct it towards that Doncaster goal.
Well, Mickey, I never thought I'd be saying in early September I've got sun cream in my eyes, but that's the first time for everything. Corner on the far side to Wrexham, who lead 1-0. O'Connor to take it, left-footed in swinging, headed away by Fowl. That's an excellent defensive header, back in by Elliot Lee. Fowl is there to bring it down, and he took it down neatly, knocks it square to the right, and Bailey. Doncaster, can they counter? Bailey's held up on halfway by Lee. Wrexham win it back. Wrexham, you can see that the confidence is there after scoring that goal. The ball had actually gone out of play, so it's a throw to Doncaster on halfway. But Wrexham very much now the dominant team, live on Talksport 2.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Confidence is with the home side, no question. I have to say, I think Mo Fowl has done ever so well in a Doncaster shirt. He's had a really good first half, helping out defensively as well. A huge leap to clear his lines, but then showed his composure as he broke out of the 18-yard box, bringing in Molyneux over this right-hand side. And I think Molyneux should have actually ran at Elliot Lee. Maybe he doesn't know he's on a yellow card, because any little slight touch from Lee, the referee will be looking at it.
Mo Fowl down by the right for Doncaster, right in front of those away supporters. He's a couple of yards from the corner flag, trying to carve out a cross, taking on McAlinden. He's played it back for Bailey. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 0. Foul level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Little ricochet takes it into the path of Bailey again. Oxford City 1, Hartlepool 2. Hartlepool back in front. Swindon 3, Sutton 2. Another goal back for Sutton, who were 3-0 down, but are fighting back in Wiltshire. No sign of a Doncaster fight back at the moment, as Dalby hits a clever ball over the halfway line. Palmer in a foot race with Olowu, and Palmer's won it off Olowu, right down by the corner flag. Throw to Wrexham. Excellent strike play by Ollie Palmer.
Super play from Ollie Palmer there. Did not give that up. It was a foot race that he was never going to win with Olowu. But Olowu, when he won the ball, he slowed down a little bit too much, rather than just trying to clear his lines. And the centre forward Palmer just stuck out his right leg, showed his strength. Wrexham have another chance with this long throw from Tozer to put it in the box.
Chesterfield 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 1 is the latest score. 1-0 to Wrexham here against Doncaster. Long throw by Tozer, high into the penalty area, headed away bravely by Anderson, and then a deflection of Westbrook, stretching to clear, belted it up into the air on his right foot, and unintentionally sent that spiralling back towards his own goal. But looking up into the sun, the goalkeeper Ian Lawler took it nicely.
But that long throw, Joe, as we were talking about there, has got a lot of heights on it. We talked about the goalkeepers not wearing caps. This time Howard there is in a way where he doesn't want to really come out of his 6-yard area to clear his lines. Yes, he plucked one out of the sky eventually. That clearance from Westbrook, but I'm sure both managers must be looking and saying, look, goalkeepers are not wearing caps. You've got big centre forwards. Put that ball in the box and let's see if they can actually see that ball coming out of the sunshine.
Here is Dalby for Wrexham, tearing down the left-hand side. Olowu again has a problem. There are two in black coming to converge upon Dalby here, and they did enough between them, Olowu and Westbrook, to win it back. Westbrook hammers it over halfway. Ironside will chase, but across comes Tozer to just nudge it back into the gloves of the goalkeeper. Last minute of normal time in the first half. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 0. Eastleigh 0, Gateshead 3, a latest score, and Bromley lead Maidenhead by 2-0 in the National League. Ireland 40, Romania 8 into the second half in the Rugby World Cup, and you are up to date. Long clearance downfield by Howard, swinging away towards the left, towards the near side where we're watching the game from. Bailey will pop it back to the goalkeeper Lawler, touches it on to Anderson. Anderson looking nervy again, never looks comfortable on the ball, does Anderson. Senior will hack it clear up to halfway. Doncaster need to try and retain the shape that they have demonstrated quite successfully really in the first half, but it was that deflected goal from Luke Young that has given Wrexham the advantage. It'll be really hard for bottom of the table Doncaster now.
Well, the patience, unfortunately for them, Joe, it hasn't really paid off, has it? Because they said, they played some nice football. They've got a chance here as they break through.
Oh, the goalkeeper's had to spread himself well there, Howard, to block it with his chest. A long ball forward that Broadbent was chasing, right-hand edge of the penalty area, and he got a scrambled shot away. Howard spread himself like Superman, and it cannoned off his chest and rolled away from danger. 6 added minutes at the end of the first half here. Some in the crowd are heading for the shade of the concourse areas more than anything today. I'm not sure a pie is the sort of thing that you really want in this kind of heat, Mickey.
Well, if they sell shorts in the club shop outside, I think there won't be many left today, Joe, will they? But back to the football, if you like. I mean, Westbrook there, I've said that long ball from Doncaster from midfield to the forward players has really worked well for them. This time it's Westbrook just playing a ball over the top for Broadbent. And then you have to see Mark Howard coming off his line.
A chance down the right for Barnett to swing across in for Wrexham. That's the far side of the field. Back to Palmer. First time right-footed delivery. Cleared away on the volley. Thumping clearance away by Anderson. It's dropped down to Young for Wrexham. Forward to Palmer again with his back to goal. In front of that, stand on the far side, the Mould Road side with the semicircular roof. Crossed by Young into the near post. Hacked away by Anderson again. Got in front of Dalby. Poor header nodded down by McAlinden, straight to the feet of Molyneux. Molyneux scoops it over halfway for Doncaster, and they're on the counter-attack. A minute and a half through, 6 added in the first half. Doncaster 1-0 down. Foul driving infield, forgot to take the ball with him. Managed to hold on to it away from Tozer. Then he whips it crossfield to the right, where it's cushioned headed down by Broadbent. Picked up by Owen Bailey. Back out to the wide right side, and Broadbent again sees it back to Biggins. High cross to the far post, and then down at the back post went the onrushing Biggins. What's the referee saying here? In fact, it was Ironside who went down, arms up into the air, looks to the referee. Grant McCann not happy either, but no penalty given.
I think Ironside started to wave his arms around, Joe, when he knew he wasn't going to get on the end of the cross from this right-hand side. It was a lovely ball into the box. but it just had a little bit too much pace on it, a little bit too much zip. But again, it was a lovely move from Doncaster, working the ball over to this right-hand side. Again, you can hear the crowd because they're all sitting in now, Wrexham. They want to try and get to half-time in front. So nobody's coming out and taking that risk of trying to win the ball just in case they lose position.
Wrexham 1, Doncaster 0, and our second live commentary of the day from the EFL on Talksport 2 into first half stoppage time. Ukraine against England at 5 on Talksport, and Talksport will bring you Scotland against England on Tuesday night. In the interim, tomorrow, Kazakhstan against Northern Ireland on Talksport 2. We've got 3 NFL commentaries for you on Talksport 2 as well tomorrow. And on Monday night on 2, Wales travel to Latvia in what is a must-win Euro 2024 qualifier for Rob Page's team.
And here's that patience again, Joe, as the game's going on and ticking away to half-time. They keep it nice at the back, Doncaster, from right to left, but then when they get the opportunity in that midfield area to get their head up, they just run in behind.
Molyneux trying to reach a loose pass on the halfway line. He can't do so for Doncaster. For once, foul was inaccurate with his ball back. We've had 3.5 of the 6 added minutes in the first half. 1-0 to Wrexham it remains. It's belted downfield by Barnett, high up towards the big number 9, Palmer. And Palmer once again used his strength expertly after the initial clearing header by Anderson. Palmer just shrugged him aside, meant that the defender couldn't keep the ball in play, and Wrexham have a throw on the far side there, right.
He's had an excellent first half, Ollie Palmer. Worked his socks off. And whether he's been told, look, you're going to play for 50 minutes of this game, give us absolutely everything, well, he's certainly done that.
Barnett driving down the right, really looks dangerous coming forward, the right wing back. He teases out across, it's floated high to the far post. The ball had actually gone out of play, and the assistant referee signals that. Exeter City 0, Leyton Orient 0 is a half-time score. We'll bring you a classified half-time update from Leagues 1, 2 and the National League at half-time here at the Racecourse Ground. And Doncaster have a goal kick away to our left-hand side. About 90 seconds of first half stoppage time to go. Lots of red replica shirts all around the stadium, as you'd expect on a warm day like this. Header back by foul towards Ironside, couldn't find his strike partner. Lee very calm and composed, elegant in possession, plays it wide to Barnett. Barnett from midway inside his own half with the ball forward that's intercepted by Jack Senior. Senior immediately pings it downfield towards Ironside, headed away this time by Cleworth for Wrexham. Doncaster then win it back off Palmer. Slightly scrappy end to the first half here in North Wales, but Wrexham won't mind that too much, leading by a goal to 0, though I'm sure Phil Parkinson will see room for improvements. Forward by Senior again, another long ball up the middle. It could drop for Biggins inside the box. Cleworth got across with an important challenge. Away by O'Connor with the red boots on. And now Barnett in the right wing back position with another raking ball downfield. A chase is on between Dalby and Olowu. Goalkeeper thought about coming, eventually backpedaled. Olowu had to put it out of play, just kissed the corner flag. It's gone behind for a corner.
Well, it's very good defending in the end from Olowu. Again, in a foot race, he's very pacey, isn't he? But he just gets there, and I think you're right, Joe. He waited for his goalkeeper, who he thought was going to come to the edge of his 18-yard box. It didn't happen. They then gave Wrexham forward players, I think it was Dalby on this occasion, the chance to maybe nick in. So Olowu's got one chance to clear his lines with his left foot. He's given away a corner. I think he went out for a corner, but can you imagine what a horrible time this would be for the away side to concede the second goal.
Quite a congested upper end of the League 2 table at the moment. Wrexham would move into the playoff positions as it stands if they were to win. 1-0 they lead. We've had the 6 added minutes. Corner by O'Connor, swung in high towards the far post, nodded down by Dalby, only needs a touch. In goes Young with a header. At the second attempt, it's gathered by the goalkeeper, and that is half-time. And how fitting that Luke Young, the captain, be at the heart of the action there. It's his goal that separates the two teams. Big deflection off Tom Anderson to turn it beyond the goalkeeper via the post in the end. An element of good fortune about the goal that separates the two teams. From a Wrexham perspective, disappointment for Doncaster, who have looked a threat in spells despite coming into the game bottom of the Football League, but a familiar pattern for them as it stands. Wrexham lead by a goal to 0. Here are the thoughts of Mickey Gray.
Well, on chances, I think Doncaster will probably be disappointed going down the tunnel at half-time that they find themselves a goal behind. But I think, that last little spell from Wrexham there, great opportunity from Luke Young, nearly got his second goal of the game. I'm going to merit him with that first goal because he deserved it for being in that position in the first place. But overall, look, you have to take the heat into consideration. I think it's been an end-to-end game of football. We've seen quality at times. We've seen some mistakes. Really good atmosphere in this stadium as well, and I think Phil Parkinson will be thrilled to pieces that they've got themselves in front. But can they add to it in the second half? Can they get those points on the board and start to climb up the table? But Grant McCann will have other things to say about that.
It was a messy goal, wasn't it? It was an excellent double save from Lawler, the Doncaster goalkeeper, in the build-up, but they just couldn't clear their lines, and eventually an element of good fortune about it. Deflection in off the post, goalkeeper tried to swipe but it couldn't get it away.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, wasn't it, for Ian Lawler? He tried to just swipe his hands, but we could see from where we are that the ball had crossed the line. But that came after two great opportunities, didn't it? The header, which he made a wonderful save from, then the chance from Elliot Lee with his left foot. But I think overall we needed that. I think the game needed a goal, didn't it? And the atmosphere rose. There's no question of that when that ball hit the back of the net. So let's see what the second half brings, Joe, because I think there's got to be changes. It's so hot out there, and you just look at the players that we've touched on already on the bench. There's no question we're going to see some part of them.
Mickey, thank you very much. Much more from Mickey Gray, former England defender, to come on commentary for the second half here at the Racecourse Ground. Wrexham lead Doncaster by a 1-0. We'll bring you all of the half-time scores from around the grounds around the country in just a few moments. And we'll build up to our live commentary on Talksport at 5 o'clock. Ukraine against England in Wrocław in Poland, that Euro 2024 qualifier. All that and second half commentary to come. You are listening to EFL Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2.
It's the totally immersive football experience.
Tucked into the near post.
EFL Game Day Live
On Talksport 2. You've worked hard to build your business, so it's important it's properly protected. At NFU Mutual, our trades insurance has received a 5-star rating by de facto for the past 10 years. No wonder over 95% of our business insurance customers renew every year. With more than 295 agencies across the UK, we're closer to you, closer to your business, closer to what matters. For quality trades insurance to suit all sizes, search NFU Mutual.
It's back for another year. Don't miss the incredible chance to win a van with Howdens. From now until the 28th of October, choose from a huge range of quality kitchens, accessories and brilliant offers. Spend £300 on any order, including at least one Lamona appliance, and you could win a brand new Ford Transit. It's open to all UK trade account holders, so visit your local Howdens now. Excludes VAT at 20%. T's and C's apply.
EasyJet's Big Orange Sale is now on, with up to 20% off flights. But hurry, our sale won't be around for long. Book now at easyjet.com. Get out there. Selected flights up to the 20th of March 2024. Book by 11 p.m. the 12th of September 2023. Flights one way. T's and C's apply.
DI shy? No more excuses. First, it's drilling in a picture hook. Then, it's the leaf blower. Before you know it, you're onto the angle grinder. Romford wasn't built in a day, and neither is your confidence. With small steps, we can turn DI shy into DIY. Parkside, you've got this. Now exclusively at Lidl.
The playlist on Talksport 2. Top flight football conversation for the sporting nation.
You have to commit, you have to overcommit, you have to get a result. Your fans are going to get twitchy.
All the big name views, news and opinions that matter.
He's just on his case all the time. Every time he picked the ball up, he fouled him.
Pull up your socks, lace up your boots and get stuck in.
I think there is a discipline problem, but I also think there's an idiot's problem.
100%. Get all the big fever pitch build-up all in one mammoth sporting session.
Massive results those are.
The playlist, Friday afternoon from 5 on Talksport 2.
On Track, Tuesday afternoon from 4 on Talksport 2. Keep ahead of all the action in the world of motorsports.
He's shown that you don't need to win from pole position.
Extended hard-revving roundups, in-depth racing analysis, and big-name interviews.
If I'd gone 1.5 tenths slower, I would have been P10 on the grid. So it's so tight.
Talksport 2 rounds up the biggest stories and the latest racing rumors.
Championship points are more vital than ever.
On Track, Tuesday afternoon from 4 on Talksport 2.
It's the totally immersive football experience.
Tucked into the near post.
EFL Game Day Live
on Talksport 2.
This is Game Day.
Half-time classifieds. Sky Bet League 1.
Exeter City 0, Leyton Orient 0, Stevenage 1, Carlisle United 1.
Sky Bet League 2.
Full-time result from earlier, Bradford City 1, Grimsby Town 1. We brought you that live on Talksport 2. Half-times, Accrington 0, Mansfield 2, AFC Wimbledon 1, Stockport 0, Colchester 1, Tranmere 0, Crawley 1, Newport 1, Forest Green 1, Crewe 0, Gillingham 0, Harrogate 0, Milton Keynes Dons 0, Notts County 0, Salford 1, Walsall 0, Swindon 3, Sutton 2, Wrexham 1, Doncaster 0.
The Vanarama National League.
Full-time score from earlier, FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 1. Half-times, AFC Fylde 0, Aldershot 0, Barnet 1, Altrincham 0 still playing there. Half-time at Bromley 3, Maidenhead 0, Chesterfield 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Eastleigh 0, Gateshead 4, Kidderminster 1, Rochdale 0, Oldham 0, Dorking 0, Oxford City 1, Hartlepool 2, Wealdstone 0, Ebbsfleet 0, Woking 0, Solihull 1 and York City 1, Boreham Wood 0. You are with Talksport 2, full second half commentary of Wrexham against Doncaster to come, live from the racecourse ground with myself, Joe Shannon, and the former Sunderland defender, Mickey Gray. Ahead of our commentary tonight, though, involving England, Ukraine against England, live in Wrocław in Poland in that Euro 2024 qualifier. The England boss, Gareth Southgate, has warned everybody and has warned his star-studded squad that nobody's place is guaranteed. We'll hear from the England boss in just a moment, but it's a 5 o'clock kick-off tonight for Ukraine against England, and it's a game that you can hear live on Talksport.
Ukraine fans will be here ready to make a noise, proudly supporting their players, their team and their nation, which is in crisis and at war back home.
Zinchenko with a volley, and that is a super goal. Ukraine hit the front at Hampden Park.
Football today is so powerful. Everyone around the world playing football, everyone loves football.
I love all of my players. We're like a family.
Harry Kane, history maker and record breaker.
Our ambition is to win. We've got to qualify, we've got to play well against Ukraine and get the points on the board that get us to Germany first.
Henderson to Saka into a shooting position. Big bang! That is an absolute beauty.
Just want to win everything with England. I think it's just pretty much that simple.
There's a qualifier to be won. It's England against Ukraine live on Talksport.
So it's all happening on Talksport, 5 o'clock kickoff, Ukraine against England. We've got the phone in afterwards with Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant, 03717 223344 to have your say. Tuesday night, by the way, mark your card for Scotland against England, 7:45 kickoff, again live on Talksport in that international friendly. Ahead of the game tonight, though, Gareth Southgate has won the England squad, but nobody's guaranteed their place in the team.
When you're picking a team, you know, the quality of the training, the quality of the players we've got, everybody has to be constantly on their toes, because we've got players that if you're not right can come into the side, and it's not easy to get back into the side. So I've said to the players this week, what has got us to this point and a really good start to qualification isn't completely irrelevant, because we've got 12 points on the board, but we're now building again a new season, and we have to focus on getting our performances better and better.
And that's the England boss, Gareth Southgate. Of course, next summer's Euro is going to be held in Germany. England skipper Harry Kane thinks his decision to move to the country could help him ahead of the tournament.
Yeah, I think it's an added bonus to, you know, the decision that I made. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. You know, I'm excited to obviously show the German fans what I can do, and I'm sure a lot of them next summer will probably be rooting against me, but that's going to be part and parcel of it. So we'll see what happens.
That's the England skipper Harry Kane. England at Ukraine. It's live on Talksport at 5 o'clock this evening in that Euro 2024 qualifier with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. Tomorrow on Talksport 2, Kazakhstan against Northern Ireland in another Euros qualifier. Monday night will be with Wales as they go to Latvia. Tuesday on Talksport, Scotland against England in the friendly, and then domestic club football returns. Southampton against Leicester on Talksport 2 Friday night. And next weekend, among the rest of our commentaries, Wolves against Liverpool, Man United against Brighton, Cardiff Swansea and Millwall against Leeds, all live on the Talksport network. Our focus today is on the EFL and League Two, to be exact. Back-to-back commentaries for you this afternoon on Talksport 2, and at the break at the Racecourse Ground, it's Wrexham who've got the edge. Well, sweltering conditions, but Wrexham are looking to turn up the heat on the sides at the top end of League Two. Good flick by Palmer down the middle. Darby trying to get on the end of it. He shrugs aside the defender, forces a save. Palmer tries to get to the rebound, hacks away. Wrexham on the attack with Ryan Barnett down the far side, the right, swings in the cross. Palmer's header, saved by the goalkeeper. Rebound is stopped as well. Barnett's far post, heads it down. Young is there, and it's blocked, and it's hit the post and gone in. It's such a desperately unlucky goal for Doncaster concede.
And that's what Wrexham have been wanting.
Absolutely, Luke Young's deflected goal separates the two teams, just what Wrexham were looking for, as Mickey Gray, our co-commentator, was saying. So Wrexham lead by a goal to nil, heading for the League Two playoff positions. Earlier, we brought you full commentary of Bradford 1, Grimsby 1, the visitors denied by a late Alex Gilead equaliser for Bradford City. 1-1 it finished in the 12:30 kickoff. Let's hear from the Grimsby boss, Paul Hurst now. He's been speaking to our man Ian Danter.
Paul, I don't know whether that's immense frustration or satisfaction with the result, because you've dropped points again having been in front. What's the overriding emotion here?
I was really pleased with how we played, obviously, particularly first half and second, although they pushed us back at times. You know, the goalkeeper's not had many saves to make. Now, whether that's just simply good defending, I'd like to think that was part of it. A lot of hard work in difficult conditions for both sets of players, but I don't know, before the game, would you take a point? I know there's a lot of people that would come in here. They, maybe had a mixed start, but they won the games here. Clearly, a massive club with lots of good players, albeit, admittedly, they've got some injuries to contend with themselves. But I'll take a lot of the positives at the minute, albeit a little frustrated that we got so close and maybe had a couple of chances even after that where we might have been back on the road with 3 points.
And it keeps the unbeaten run going in the league as well.
Yeah, I do think that it sounds a little bit obvious, but teams that are obviously going to succeed, they don't lose too many games, and at the minute that's proving as though we are difficult to beat. Yes, we want to turn some of those draws into wins, but I think there's signs there that we could have a decent season and that we are a pretty good team. Just got to try and tidy 1-2 bits up and, like you say, see out some of those leads if we do get in front. But we don't want to be defensive, and it might have looked that way slightly, but it was never kind of an intention. I think you have to give Bradford some credit for that and their players. But overall, like I said, I think we're looking at a pretty good team.
That's the Grimsby boss, Paul Hurst, speaking earlier to our man Ian Danter. Grimsby pegged back by a very late Bradford equaliser at the University of Bradford Stadium. It finished 1-1 in our live commentary. So Grimsby, as it stands, will be just outside the League Two playoff places. They've only been beaten once so far this season, but just cannot convert draws into wins. Bradford, meanwhile, stay mid-table. Mark Hughes' team, 16th place, 9 points from 7 games. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 0 in our second live commentary of the day on Talksport 2. This is Joe Shannon live at a sun-drenched Racecourse Ground with Mickey Gray alongside me. Mickey, the conditions, I think, have played a part, as we expected they would do, but you have to, it's hard to look beyond Wrexham now that they've got themselves that, albeit slightly fortuitous, opening goal.
No, absolutely. When they needed to be clinical, they were, albeit it was a little slight deflection as the ball found its way into the back of the net, but just before that they had that momentum, they had a couple of opportunities, didn't they? And it gets the crowd, and you keep talking about this every single week, Joe, don't we, about that 12th man. Well, they certainly need that at Wrexham, and they've got that at the moment. You can only see them capitalising that on the second half, because players are going to get tired. We're going to see a lot of changes in this game. When those changes come, it just upsets the flow a little. But I have to say, Doncaster played their part. They've been patient, they played some nice football. I think when it's been on to play it over the top, they've got to try and use Mo Farrell a little bit more, because he's got the beating of the centre-halves of Wrexham. But when he gets in behind, just be patient. Take a deep breath as you're taking that strike on goal, and if you do so, then you give yourself something to hang on to, and that's That's the aim for Grant McCann's team now.
The body language from the Doncaster players looked quite positive as they went off the field at half-time, Mickey, and I guess it must be tempting when you're bottom of the league, even this early in the season. You go a slightly unlucky goal behind and you think, here we go again, but that doesn't seem to be the body language of the Doncaster players.
No, absolutely not. We said, they play some nice football. I think there'll be a point in the game where Grant will be trying to probably bring in Kyle Hurst if he needs to, and I'm sure he will in this game at some point. But again, I think Grant's basically said to his players, look, we cannot play the style of football that we play every single week. I want you to run around and I want you to work hard. But because of the heat, because of this second half, and the more that the minutes tick away, players are going to have to show that little bit of patience. I think we have as well. It's so difficult. We want to see quality football, don't we? But there's going to be periods like there was in the first half, little mistakes, and it's who can capitalise on those mistakes.
And so here we go, about to get back underway. Couple of goals to tell you about very early in the second halves of games in the EFL. MK Dons lead Notts County by 1-0, so the side that vied with Wrexham for the National League title last season are behind at MK Dons. That was a top-the-table clash at the start of the day, second against top. That's the side who started second, who lead by 1-0, and Exeter 1, Leyton Orient 0 in League One. Exeter top of League One and continuing their superstar to the campaign, Gary Caldwell's side. So we're back underway at the racecourse ground. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 0. Wrexham playing from left to right in the white shirt and the red shirts, white shorts and white socks. Wrexham playing towards that two-tiered university end of the stadium, and we saw the university buildings as we walked up earlier. And Doncaster all in black, playing from right to left towards the empty open end of the stadium, which is just a car park really at the moment. And there's a single cameraman high up on a mini gantry who is absolutely baked in the sun, and I hope he's okay. I hope he's got lots of iced water
and
up there.
And he's wearing black clothing as well. Yeah, he's not really thought that one through, has he? Oh dear.
He's battling hard and filming the goal away to our left-hand side. I'll give you the two sides in full. Wrexham, Howard in goal, Cleworth, Tozer and Boyle the defenders, Barnett and McAlinden the wing-back. So Connor, Young the goal scorer, and Lee in midfield, Dalby and Palmer up front. And for Doncaster Rovers, the goalkeeper is Lorna, with Bailey, Alowu, Anderson and Senior the defenders, Molyneux, Westbrook, Broadbent and Biggins in midfield, and Ironside and Fowl are the two furthest forward. All the goals as they go into the second halves in League One and 2 and in the National League as well. That's a trip by Alowu on Dalby, about 5 yards from the edge of the penalty area. It'll be a yellow card for the Doncaster defender, and Wrexham have a free kick in a dangerous position, certainly for a good ball into the box. Mickey Gray, former England defender, alongside me for commentary, and a second Wrexham goal would surely make the point safe for them.
Well, it's a great opportunity to try and get that second goal, but it's all come from really good play from Dolby down this left-hand side, just showing his body strength. But the last thing that Joseph Alowu wanted was to get himself in with a yellow card early on, because you know what's going to happen later on in this game. He's going to have other centre forwards who he's going to have to play against, so he's just going to be a little bit careful as this game goes on.
Well, there's going to be an aerial bombardment here. Wrexham with so much aerial ability in the side, not just the two strikers but the centre halves are forward as well. Free kicks whipped into the box towards Palmer, and a looping header that goes over the top. It looked like a deflection to me, but the assistant has the flag up on the near side, that orange and yellow checkered flag in front of the Doncaster fans, and that's a free kick to Doncaster, who trail by 1-0 2.5 minutes into the second half, with the sun still beating down onto the playing surface here at the Rugby World Cup. Ireland 61, Romania 8 is the latest score, 10 minutes to go, and Ireland with a comfortable win to start their Pool B campaign. Victory earlier for Italy in the Rugby World Cup, and of course France beat New Zealand in spectacular fashion last night. We'll have a full coverage of the Rugby World Cup for you on the Talksport network, and England get their campaign underway against Argentina at 8 o'clock. Long ball downfield for Doncaster by Bailey, high towards Joe Ironside, who scored a goal recently in that Carabao Cup defeat at home to Premier League Everton, but his header on doesn't find a teammate. It's gone out of play, and Wrexham have a throw in their left-back position on the far side, their left.
I'd like to see, Joe, Ironside and Fowl playing a little bit closer together, because they're playing some really nice balls up to the two centre forwards, Doncaster, but when the flick on comes, you can see that Fowl's a little bit too far away from Ironside. I think, they've got to have that communication between the two centre forwards. If they're going to create opportunities, they've got to work together as a team.
Both managers standing on the edge of the technical area. Phil Parkinson, hands on hips. Grant McCann just to his left in a tracksuit top, looking up into the sunshine as Doncaster win a throw deep inside the Wrexham half. Right in front of our commentary position, we are quite a way to the left of the halfway line and at the front of the upper tier, so about 10-15 rows from the edge of the pitch. Forest Green 1, Crewe 1, a latest score. Equaliser for Crewe in Gloucestershire. Here is Palmer holding the ball up neatly for Wrexham, but he can't find a teammate with his layoff. Phil Parkinson, I think, was saying just hit the line. Out of play it went. Throw to Wrexham and to Doncaster on the near side there left. And Alowu, who's on a yellow card, got to be careful, the central defender, has it midway inside his own territory.
Yeah. Again, it was back to that patient play, aren't they? But really good play just initially from Ryan Bennett there. He tried to play a little give and go with his centre forward. He didn't get the return pass, and if he had have done, there was acres of space inside that back line of Doncaster. You've got to show that quality when you get in that final third if you're going to add to the goal that you already have in this game.
Doncaster behind, and they'll remain bottom of the Football League tonight as it stands. Wrexham as it stands, moving up into the League 2 playoff positions. And Talksport and Talksport 2, your home of the EFL once again this season. 120 live and exclusive commentaries. No other national radio station can bring you live commentaries from the EFL. Part of 450 overall across the divisions and competitions and internationally this season that will bring you on the network. And of course, for all the reaction, Talksport Breakfast every weekday morning, followed by White and Jordan, and some great guests on Talksport Breakfast and White and Jordan to come this week. I'll tell you about those in a moment as Doncaster look to break through the middle. It's cleared away by Tozer downfield at the middle of the three centre halves, and Palmer's won it back on the halfway line. Not sure that the retreating Biggins got a shout from any of his teammates, but Doncaster nonetheless have won it back inside Wrexham territory, and Molyneux has won a free kick. 1-0 down Doncaster, 6 minutes into the second half. Exeter 1, Leyton Orient 1, a latest score, equaliser for Leyton Orient away at the league leaders in League 1, and Wimbledon 1, Stockport 1, a latest score. Here's Mickey Gray again.
Well, I'm just going to touch on it, Joe, that communication of when midfield players are holding the ball up and they're chesting the ball down. Somebody has to tell them that, you're going to get shut down, you're going to get closed down. They've got a chance now, they've won a free kick to put the ball in the box. This is where they need to show the quality.
Westbrook has played it square and infield to Biggins in a central position, back out wide to Molyneux to cross. It's a poor bit of clearance by Cleworth, and now an opportunity for Ironside from a very tight angle to drive it across. It's headed into the far post by foul, and Doncaster are level at the racecourse ground. Dreadful defending from Wrexham's Max Cleworth, and Doncaster took full advantage. It was fizzed across goal by Ironside, and there was the West Brom loanee, young Mo Fowl, to thump home a header. His first goal for the club. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 1, game on.
What a finish. What a finish, and he deserves it, Mo Fowl. The initial free kick that was put into the area was terrible. It just didn't beat the first man, but Wrexham just didn't clear their lines. And Ironside just kept it alive. Got his way through two players, got to the byline. First time just whips it in with his left foot. And Mo Fowler just waited at the back stick, unmarked. Probably the tallest player in the Doncaster team, unmarked, just to head that one into the back of the net. They've been positive in the second half and they've got their just rewards. What a great finish.
And that, as you say, Mickey, was not an easy finish either, because Ironside absolutely leathered it across the face of goal, and there was Fowl about on the edge of the 6-yard box to just nod it home, and it's 1-1. And it just goes to show, doesn't it, this sort of scoreline. Wrexham, the team and the club with so much momentum, and Doncaster without a league win so far this season, without a league win at all since the back end of April, but they've got themselves an equaliser, and that's the beauty of the EFL.
All that pressure as well, you've got to try and capitalise on like they are again now.
And now Luke Molyneux is driving forward. It's 3 against 2. Molyneux edge of the box. Who to Fowl? Flag goes up, and Fowl has rolled it wide anyway from a tight angle. Doncaster should have made more of that. 1-1 it stays.
Again, Joe, we said it in the first half on a couple of occasions. I think it was Sam Dalby had a chance from the edge of the box to take a shot on for Wrexham. Well, this time Luke Molyneux, He's got the whole goal in front of him. He sees that run from foul out to his left-hand side. He's got to know he's going to go into an offside position. You get your laces through it, hit the target, and ask the question of this Wrexham goalkeeper, Mark Howard. Got his hands on his head there, thinking, why did I not take that shot on? They've had a brilliant 2 or 3 minutes. They could have found themselves in front now.
Well, we know that Wrexham, though they concede plenty, are more than capable of scoring a hatful as well. We saw that last season, we've seen it so far this season. But Ironside is on the turn for Doncaster down the right. Foul waiting for the early ball in the middle. It's hit high towards Foul. Cleworth gets a touch on it, only good enough to nudge it behind for a Doncaster corner. Bromley 4, Maidenhead 0, latest score. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 1, live here on Talksport 2. Saturday afternoons in the EFL, around the grounds and a live commentary here. It's just the way we like it, and what a good spell this is for Doncaster Rovers, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, it just takes a split second, doesn't it, from being really comfortable in the game like Wrexham were, to being on the back foot. And Doncaster have been outstanding. Great ball into the box, I have to say. And Max Cleworth, who came off the bench because of that injury to Hayden, he had to clear his lines there. Absolutely fantastic from Doncaster. Getting players in the box as well, looking to try and capitalise on the goal they already have.
Wrexham have got Paul Mullin warming up again in front of us here. Corner to Doncaster, whipped in by Westbrook. A dangerous delivery, headed almost off the line by the covering defender. It was Young who got back to clear it away from in front of goal. Really fizzed in and bent in deliciously by Westbrook towards the near post, and Wrexham just about survive, but it's all Doncaster at the moment. 10 minutes into the second half, having got their equaliser, they're now looking to move in front.
I mean, again, Westbrook, super ball into the box. It's got that whip on it, it's got pace, it's going in towards the goalkeeper. As a defender, even you think to yourself, if I make contact with this, it might actually go on my own goal. But you can see how many players now Doncaster are starting to commit forward. Ironside, Foul, Biggins is getting himself into the box. Broadbent on the other side as well. And that just comes from confidence, momentum, and getting themselves back on level terms.
Ukraine against England in that Euro 2024 qualifier, live on Talksport at 5 o'clock. We've got international football the next 2 nights, tomorrow and Monday on Talksport 2, and then the return of the EFL. Southampton against Leicester in the Championship on Friday evening. Talksport Breakfast, the place to be every morning for all of the reaction. We've got Ashley Young on Talksport Breakfast on Thursday with Alan Brazil, your host, and White and Jordan will have Ange Postecoglou, the Tottenham boss, on their show on Tuesday morning. Here come Doncaster. The free kick's taken short to the edge of the box now, and Biggins, right-hand edge of the 18-yard area. Biggins now trying to drive forward to the edge of the penalty box. He's reached the dead ball line, takes on Young, loose ball drops for Anderson. He throws himself to the ground. No penalty that, and then a trip on Barnett, and that's a free kick to Wrexham. Anderson, the big defender. Well, it didn't take much for him to go down. It was an obvious attempt to win a penalty, 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the referee was in the perfect position there, wasn't he, Lee Doty? He knew that. That was a foul to the home side, but I have to say it's still all Doncaster. They look as if they've got the bit between the teeth at the moment. They're getting the ball into some really good areas, but also they're committing players into that 18-yard box, waiting for those balls coming across the 6-yard box.
It's never dull at Wrexham, particularly at the racecourse. Beaten 5-3 at home by MK Dons on the opening day of the season. They beat Walsall 4-2. They drew 5-5 here against Swindon. Never a dull day in this part of Wales. Crawley 2, Newport 1, a latest score. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 1. Throw to Wrexham, left wing position, hurled into the 6-yard box by Tozer. Up go the heads, dealt with by Doncaster. Flick further clear by Molyneux, and Doncaster on the counter attack. Westbrook over the halfway line. Black shirt streaking forward in support. Molyneux with his back to goal. Back to Westbrook. Ironside's made a run through the middle. Ironside could be clear. Poor ball by Westbrook. Chipped through the middle but overhit. Ironside couldn't get there. It's end-to-end stuff. After a fairly quiet first half, the game has exploded into life, and Fowler's got it down the right-hand side for Doncaster again. Doncaster have managed to haul themselves back level. Fowler dribbling into the penalty area, blocked off by the first man, the former Huddersfield defender Boyle, who sweeps it clear. I'm sure, Mickey Gray, Phil Parkinson is thinking about changes.
He has to, because it's Wrexham now who are making the mistakes. Counter-attacking football from Doncaster over the last couple of minutes has been absolutely fantastic. They had 2 players to pick out. Ironside made the run through the middle. It was a little bit away from him. But Mo Fowl should have been the ball out on that right-hand side. He had acres of space. You just need to get a look. It's easy from where we are, sat here, to say play the ball out to the right-hand side. But these players, Doncaster players, have come out in the second half absolutely top class.
I could barely hear you there, Mickey, because of the chanting of the name of Paul Mullin, who's about to make his return to the Wrexham side, having missed all of the season so far due to injury. Salford 1, Walsall 1 is the latest score in League 2, and Woking have an equaliser against Solihull Moors in the National League. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 1. Phil Parkinson has seen enough, and with just under an hour played, here comes the prodigal son, back in red and white of Wrexham again. Off goes Dalby, wait for the cheer for Paul Mullin. He's like a god here at Wrexham. Wrexham's number 10, 38 league goals last season, 47 in all competitions, 79 goals in 97 Wrexham appearances for Paul Mullin. You wouldn't bet against him coming on and acting as a super sub today, Mickey Gray. Half an hour left.
I have to say, Joe, I mean, listen to that. That's what you come to stadiums for. Absolutely superb, the atmosphere, and here's Paul Mullin trying to get involved in the game as quick as he can. But it came at the right time, didn't it? Things aren't going well for Wrexham up front. He needed that change. And listen to that boost that they've had, the home side.
Bromley 4, Maidenhead 1. Goal back for Maidenhead, but they're surely going to suffer their second league defeats of the National League campaign. Wrexham have the ball with Cleworth, right of the three centre-halves, in the baking sunshine. Still the sun beats down relentlessly. Doncaster with Ironside. 1-1 the score away here at Wrexham. Ironside trying to skip away from Cleworth. We've had an hour now. Cleworth wriggled away from Ironside, having won it back. The centre-half was fouled. Wrexham free kick. Forest Green 1, Crewe 2. Crewe have turned it around to lead at Forest Green, who are heading for 4 consecutive home league defeats to start their home campaign this season. Well, here comes the announcements of the PA. I thought they were going to announce the attendance. It's another sellout crowd of over 10,000 as Wrexham come forward on the attack on the far side there left. Elliot Lee in the penalty area, whips in a cross over the head of Palmer. Did that take a deflection on its way through? It didn't. Referee says goal kick, and Doncaster are going to make their first change. We will have a drinks break, I'm sure, midway through the second half in these sweltering conditions. And it's Alowu who's going off, and the Hull loanee Tom Nixon who's coming on. And maybe some of the thinking with that for Grant McCann, Mickey, is the fact that Alowu was on a yellow card.
Absolutely that. As soon as I seen his number come up, I pointed straight down to the substitutes. And there's a reason for it, because Grant McCann and Doncaster, they need 11 players on the pitch, Joe, if they're going to get something from this game. And you can't take that risk when your centre-half picks up an early yellow card in the second 45 minutes. It only takes one mistimed challenge and you're down to 10 men, and again it's backs against the wall, because at the moment they've been absolutely superb. A moment ago, Joe Ironside picked the ball up just in front of where we are, actually, on the left-hand side, but he had a little look into the box and there was just nobody with him, so he had to hold the ball up, tried to work his magic in the end, but this is where you need help from your midfield runners.
Doncaster playing from right to left towards the empty end of the ground and won the ball back on the halfway line. Doncaster all in black today. Ball driven crossfield by Westbrook. There's too much on that for Broadbent. Doncaster, who have a trip to Forest Green to come next Saturday. I think whatever happens today, unless there's a massive collapse late on, Grant McCann will be really happy with his side's performance. Performances for Doncaster appear to be improving. Wimbledon 1, Stockport 2, a latest score. Stockport have come from behind to lead, and Mickey Gray, living in the Manchester area, I think is relatively happy about it.
Yeah, well, I've got friends working there, Joe, so it's always nice. I followed them last season, and I think they were hoping to try and get themselves promoted through the playoffs. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for them, but got a real big chance this season. But this league just seems to be getting more difficult every single season with the sides that are in it.
Well, Wrexham are finding today that you don't have it easy anywhere in the Football League. 1-1 the score against Doncaster. 10,254 here to watch it at the racecourse ground. I can't see a spare seat anywhere you look. And Wrexham are attacking the end to the right, the university end of the stadium, packed with fans on their feet in those two tiers, as Wrexham win a throw deep inside Doncaster territory. Q Bentosa, the centre-half, to come forward and hurl this one in long.
It's such a threat, isn't it? mean, can't kick the ball this far, I have to be honest with you anymore, Joe, but it's just like a corner.
Palmer's up there. Mullins up there. It's hoisted in high and long to the near post. Punched away by the goalkeeper Lawler. It's come out to Barnett, right of centre. That goal a long way from our commentary position, away on that far side as the ball is cleared into touch by Senior. Hammers it into the Doncaster supporters, who number just over 1,000 or so. Another long throw into the box, headed wide! It was Boyle who was forward. Boyle, the centre half. Clean connection, but couldn't get it on target. Otherwise, it might have been 2-1 to Wrexham.
And he's so disappointed. He's just trotted back to the halfway line there with his hands on his head. I think he knows he should have hit the target there, Willie Boyle, because that was a great opportunity, and it came from that long throw again. We've seen it so many times in the first half. They continued with it in the second 45 minutes. Ben Tozer needed a massage on his shoulders in the morning, Joe, or after this game. Never mind his legs, because it's crazy how far he can throw that ball. Absolutely ridiculous, but it's such a threat.
Well, Fowler's gone down injured with cramp, and sensibly the match officials have signalled that both sets of players can come across and take this drinks break now. So we'll do that 20 minutes into the second half. It means we can tell you that Notts County got an equaliser away at MK Dons in the clash of the top two at the start of the day, and as it stands, still two of the top three. Mansfield moving into second at the moment because Nigel Clough's team remain in front in their game away at Accrington Stanley. So MK Dons 1, Notts County 1, and it's finished Ireland 82, Romania 8 at the Rugby World Cup. What a thumping victory for Ireland to start their campaign. England up against Argentina later in Pool D. That's an 8 o'clock start. Australia against Georgia in Pool C at 5. Italy 52, Namibia 8. A final score in Pool A earlier. The Talksport rugby team will bring you comprehensive coverage of the Rugby World Cup, and Wales are in action tomorrow in Pool C against Fiji. Scotland likewise tomorrow, Pool B against South Africa. We've got NFL on Talksport 2 for you tomorrow as well. 3 commentaries, all starting from 6 o'clock. It's all happening on the network. Live football, live NFL. We've got the international break, of course, but that hasn't stopped our comprehensive coverage. 450 live commentaries across the divisions this season and internationally. Oxford City 2, Hartlepool United 2. Play's about to get back underway after the cramp that Fowl had and the water that the players have taken on, and they've wrapped those white sodden towels, those cold towels around the back of their necks as well. And goalkeeper Lawler clears downfield into the final quarter of the game. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 1. Long ball by Barnett. Mullin is chasing it. Can he get in behind the defender Senior here? Mullin trying to wriggle away. Senior always looked the favourite, and then across came the substitute Nixon to hammer it out of play for a throw. Now look at Phil Parkinson, the Wrexham boss there, Mickey. Out of his dugout, he's waving his arms, he's trying to cajole the Wrexham fans, because every time they get a throw, it's almost like a corner kick.
It certainly is, and Paul Mullin was doing exactly the same thing as he knew since as a forward player, isn't he? Doesn't give you a split second on the ball, gets his body in there, tries to shield the ball himself, but you can see he's got that pace to get in behind, and he wants to score goals in this division this season.
Ben Tozer to take from the right wing, the near side, high into the near post. It's dropped all the way to the far stick. It'll be retrieved by Tom O'Connor, the Irishman, who plays it back to Liam McAlinden. McAlinden pings the ball crossfield into the area. Easy headed clear by Anderson. Grant McCann, the Doncaster boss, watches on nervously, having to survive an aerial bombardment here. Barnett's cross is a good one. Great header away by Anderson again. It's come down to O'Connor, who drives it over the top. Left-footed from the angle, high over the bar. Doncaster goal kick. They're going to need to be resolute and resilient in the final 23 minutes plus stoppage time.
It's amazing. It's amazing, isn't it, how the game's kind of flowing from one side to the other, where Doncaster having a 10-minute spell themselves, then it turns into Wrexham. They've shown the confidence at the moment, and I think that's all come down to the change from Paul Mullin coming onto the field. But Owen O'Connor there, he had a real good opportunity, Joe, didn't he? Just from the corner of the edge of the 18-yard box, and I think he got a little bit too excited. Probably should have had a touch, maybe should have whipped it towards the back stick. It was a difficult angle to score a goal, but you can see that momentum change now.
Swindon have got a fourth against Sutton to lead by 4-2. Oxford City 3, Hartlepool United 2 in the National League. That's a game that has ebbed and flowed, and Wilston lead Ebbsfleet by 1-0. York 1, Boreham Wood 1. Equaliser for Boreham Wood, and Forest Green now 3-1 down at home to Crewe Alexandra, and you are up to date. 22 minutes to go. on Talksport 2. I'm enjoying this, Mickey Gray.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great game, and I think the atmosphere is obviously helping in the game as well. But it's end to end, and fair play to the players. I mean, it's so hot.
Ball whipped in by Young. Palmer's downward header, pushed away by the goalkeeper. Rebound is played across the box by McAlinden, and Doncaster will clear. Excellent stop that by Lawler, plunging to his right.
What a ball from Ryan Barnett over on this right-hand side. He's done it on a couple of occasions now, but he's got whip on it, he's got pace on it. It's just meat and drink, isn't it, for Ollie Palmer. Does everything right, heads it down into the ground. Super save from Lawler.
Ian Lawler's been excellent.
Yes, he has.
Had no chance with the goal and has kept out Wrexham on numerous occasions before and since. Long ball downfield by Doncaster towards Ironside, headed away by a retreating Tozer. It could go either way. Stick with us on Talksport 2 for what could be a brilliant last 21 minutes plus stoppage time. Barnett pokes it up the right-hand side. It's held up neatly by Mullin, but then he gives it away with a pass in field. He's only just coming back, of course, to match fitness, Paul Mullin. Not played at all since being injured against Manchester United in pre-season on that remarkable Wrexham tour of the United States. Lots of goals going in elsewhere. AFC Fylde 0, Aldershot 1, Crawley 3, Newport 2. Eastleigh 0, Gateshead 5, and a quick equaliser for Ebbsfleet away at Wilston. It's 1-1 there. Now then, Westbrook has it, formerly of Bristol Rovers, just shy of the halfway line for Doncaster. A calming influence on the play. Luke Molyneux trying to turn and is fouled by Liam McAlinden, and that's a free kick on the Doncaster right, in the shaded part of the ground in front of that stand with the semicircular roof, the Mould Road side of the stadium. And Stephen Fletcher, a new signing this week at Wrexham, is warming up, a familiar figure, big tall striker with his hair in a top knot. Red and black boots on. We may well see Stephen Fletcher before the end of the game. He seems to really fit the Wrexham mould. Doncaster have taken the free kick short, and then it's driven into the box by Biggins, headed back across goal by Senior, gathered by the goalkeeper Howard, high above his head, all in lime green. Not had a lot to do, Mark Howard, particularly in the second half, but he has had to pick the ball out of the back of his net, and that's why it's 1-1.
Just need your goalkeeper just to be on guard, don't you, Joe, whenever the time comes, and certainly they've done that today, haven't they, in both goals.
They've given it away, Wrexham. Doncaster on the counter. Molyneux plays it, a terrible ball into the box. He had two to aim at in the middle, easily intercepted by Tozer. Dagenham lead it, Chesterfield by a goal to 0, but they're down to 10 men, the visiting side. Still 1-0 at Chesterfield 2, Dagenham and Redbridge. Here is O'Connor in the centre circle for Wrexham. Just clips the ball left to right to find Cleworth in the sunshine. He gets the return pass on the underlap from Barnett. The centre half is deep into the Doncaster half, and he's won a throw. Here comes Tozer. Hugh Tozer straight away. Everybody knows what to do.
I think we're going to see that change that you've just been speaking about, Joe, there as well. I'm sure I've seen Stephen Fletcher being waved back towards the technical area. It's Wrexham now just keeping the ball alive, and those tired brains, tired legs are starting to kick in a little bit now, aren't they? So I think we will see some fresh faces.
Less than 20 minutes to go. Wrexham on the attack. Driven cross into the penalty area. That's a diving header away by Anderson, the captain for Doncaster. Young nudges it down, and then Tozer fizzes one in from 35 yards. That takes a big deflection off Nixon this time. Yet another long Wrexham throw. You can almost count these as corners. They're that effective. In fact, this one's been taken short by Tozer to Barnett. Cuts in field onto his left foot, steers the ball into the penalty area, reverse ball, clattered away by Anderson. Grant McCann looks frustrated because Anderson should have done better with that clearance. They've got to stop conceding these long throws, Mickey.
Yeah, they have. It's a real threat, isn't it, for Wrexham? Over on this right-hand side with Toes in, he will throw this one into the 18-yard box. Look at how many bodies Wrexham have got in that box waiting for it to come into the area.
Well, he's got the ball back out wide here, Toes. He's going to cross high right-footed. That's not a bad delivery. Slightly overhit. Hit it away. Comes out to O'Connor. Volley! Gathered by the goalkeeper. It was through a crowd. Excellent handling by Ian Lawler. And Anderson's gone down now for Doncaster. Accrington 0, Mansfield 3, Chesterfield 1, Dagenham 1, Chesterfield equalising against the 10 men. Oxford City 4, Hartlepool 2. The game's been stopped here at the racecourse ground to allow Anderson to receive some treatment. Barnet top of the National League lead, Altrincham by 2-0. And of course, at 5 o'clock on Talksport, we have our commentary of Ukraine against England. Jordan Henderson and Harry Maguire both start for England. Jordan Pickford is in goal. Walker and Chilwell, the fullbacks for England, with Gehi and Maguire, the centre-halves. Rice, Henderson and Bellingham in midfield, with Maddison, Saka and Kane, the front three for England, Mickey.
Happy with that team? I thought Colwill might have been given an opportunity at centre-half. I think he's had a very good start to the season. Not to say that Gehi hasn't himself, but I think there was a lot of speculation about Jordan and Harry himself, whether they would actually start the game. But you think about the experience that they've got, it's no surprise to me.
I was going to say, I don't think it is a great surprise, given what Gareth Southgate has said about those two in the lead up to the game. York City back in front of the National League against Boreham Wood. They lead by 2-1. Now then, Anderson has been treated, and he's temporarily going to be off the field. They'll be down to 10 here for a few seconds, Doncaster. Lawler, the goalkeeper, has been a tower of strength, I think.
Yes,
Mickey, today.
He has, yeah. When called upon, albeit unfortunate with the goal itself, he's pulled off some wonderful saves. 2 great saves, I have to say, before the ball did actually find the back of the net. But then even in the second half, when called upon as well, he's been in the right place at the right time. I think it was O'Connor, wasn't it, with that left foot strike? Yep. And he was in the right place at the right time.
Well, you know, as a former defender, how important it is to have a goalkeeper that inspires confidence.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I was very fortunate. Thomas Sorensen at Sunderland came as a young lad who was absolutely outstanding. You'd always rely on him, but I think the one that stands out for me has to be Brad Friedel. You always felt if your wide player or centre forward was getting the better of you, you knew that they still had to beat Brad in goal.
That's Mickey Gray, former England defender, with us for commentary today. Doncaster restored to their full complement of 11 players. At the moment, they're heading for a 3rd point of the league season, and it's going to come against one of the favourites. Doncaster would stay bottom of the table, but it's certainly been more encouraging today for Grant McCann's team. Wrexham pushing for a winner. 15 minutes to go. They know a good thing or two about late goals to Wrexham. Mullin down in the left wing position, back to McAlinden, early cross headed away, only as far as Cleworth. Max Cleworth brings it down, carefully and calmly plays the ball to the right side, and Barnett trying to drive beyond the defender. Barnett whips in a high cross deep to the far post. There's Mullin to try and reach it. It's come off his head and gone behind for a goal kick at the University end to Doncaster.
He was just backtracking a little bit there, wasn't he, Paul Mullin? Great ball into the area again. But Mullin was just drifted towards the back of the 6-yard box, didn't he? So he had to work wonders to try and get that on target, but still won the header. You see the frustration. I think he was just slapping his thigh a little bit there, wasn't he? But he's going to get chances. You can see it in his game. He's a goal scorer at heart. And it wouldn't surprise you, would it, Joe, if he's the match winner in this game? Because I've got 2 sides in front of me now that they're not settling for a draw. You can see Wrexham are looking for that winning goal to try and get the 3 points.
Double change coming up here for Doncaster Rovers. There'll be a debut for Louis Marsh, who's arrived on loan from Sheffield United, the 19-year-old, and Mo Fowl, the goal scorer, is replaced. And is that Luke Molyneux going off? I think it is. And this is a big boost for Doncaster fans and for Grant McCann. Kyle Hurst, who was excellent last season but has had to miss all of this campaign so far due to injury, is now back on the field in place of Molyneux.
Well, it's those fresh legs, as you said there. Kyle Hurst certainly knows where the back of the net is, got energy, and that's exactly what Doncaster Rovers need right now. They need somebody to give everybody else that little bit of a boost.
Stevenage 2, Carlisle 1, a latest score in League One. Stevenage's excellent start to life back in the 3rd tier continues.
Come on, Wrexham!
You heard it. What can Wrexham produce in the final 13 minutes plus stoppage time? It's 1-1 against Doncaster. It was been a really thrilling second half of football on Talksport 2, I think, Mickey, as Walsall take a 2-1 lead away at Salford City in League 2. I think everybody expected Doncaster to roll over, but that has really been the opposite.
And that will please Grant McCann. It's improvement every single week. If you go back to the Everton game, I thought for the first half they competed against the Premier League side, then the draw back in the league with 10 men for 45 minutes, and then today I think it's character, and it's really showing. It certainly is, because at times they are against it, of course they are, but they're playing against a quality outfit, and they've had the chances actually themselves to win this football match.
Ball's been scooped forward up the inside right channel by Luke Young for Wrexham, but he couldn't find Palmer. You really do pick up that frustration in the crowd when things aren't quite going Wrexham's way. 1-1. Louis Marsh on loan from Sheffield United at Doncaster, dropping back into the middle of his own half to win it back neatly. Quick-footed is Hurst, and Hurst is tripped, having just come on. That'll be a free kick and a yellow card out of the pocket of the referee here for Elliot Lee.
Silly challenge there. I think it was actually O'Connor who got the yellow card there, Joe. I might be wrong, but silly foul. And again, this is tired legs, isn't it? Players not wanting to get themselves back into position. If anybody just jogs past them, you stretch out a leg, you make a silly foul. And this is a point in the game where the referee, Lee Doherty's going to put his hand in his pocket. He's going to give yellow cards.
You might be right, actually, Mickey. We'll double check and confirm that yellow card. Doncaster have taken the resulting free kick short. It's just inside Wrexham territory. Swindon 4, Sutton 3. Another goal back for Sutton. They were 3-0 down at one stage in that game. Here is Marsh for Doncaster, threading it through to the edge of the penalty area. Hurst with a curler, it's blocked by Boyle. Comes back out to Broadbent, crosses from the right-hand edge of the box, headed away by Boyle once more. Now Wrexham counter. Palmer's got strength, he's not got much pace. Sliding in was Senior in the centre circle. Got some of the ball, but got the man too. Free kick to Wrexham. That's a yellow card for Jack Senior. Wilston 2, Ebbsfleet 1, York 2, Boreham Wood 2. Boreham Wood coming from behind to equalise for the second time in that game. And Eastleigh 0, Gateshead 6. 6 of the best for Gateshead. Long journey for the away fans that, but they'll go home celebrating.
No, absolutely, yeah, with a big smile on their face. But again, I just wonder, Joe, at the end of this game, whether Grant McCann, I don't know if it's a question you like to ask him, but his players seem to be getting into very good positions around the edge of the 18-yard box, but then looking for the extra pass. I think that's frustrating the manager as much as it's probably frustrating the Doncaster supporters and ourselves doing the commentary for the game today, because again they've had another opportunity. I think it was Westbrook this time, looking for that extra pass when the shot's on to take.
They definitely don't look like a bottom of the table team.
No.
Doncaster Rovers, that is for certain, whatever happens today. Results, you feel, should start to improve. It was Lee who was yellow carded earlier, just to confirm that minor detail, as Anderson sends the ball back to goalkeeper Lawler. 10 minutes to go. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 1, live and exclusive to national radio on Talksport 2. We're your home of the EFL. You don't need to go anywhere else for EFL commentary. Header, cushion header by Tozer into the centre circle for Wrexham. The ball is picked up by Lee. Lee can't get it under control though. He had Mullin just in front of him. Lee's won it back on the halfway line. AFC Fylde 0, Aldershot 2, a latest score. Kidderminster 1, Rochdale 1. Long ball forward to Mullin. Goalkeeper's come out. Oh, Mullin tried to lob him, but he got nothing behind it. Then Anderson came across, put it behind for a Wrexham corner. That was Paul Mullin's chance. Nothing behind the shot in the end. Here comes Stephen Fletcher to make his Wrexham debut.
Yeah, Stephen Fletcher just comes onto the pitch there now. What a chance for Paul Mullin. He's made that running behind, used his pace, saw the goalkeeper Lawler coming off his line, just tried to dink it over the top of him, but got it wrong. Didn't really get the ball off the surface itself, but it has to go down as a big opportunity when he scored as many goals as he did last season.
Stephen Fletcher for Liam McAlinden, and the other change for Wrexham sees the number 12 George Evans, experienced midfielder, come onto the field. Big cheer for Stephen Fletcher, hair tied back, the bearded Fletcher. Ollie Palmer's also gone on, so that's McAlinden and Palmer off, Evans and Fletcher on. Corner to Wrexham, University end of the ground. 8 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Luke Young is standing over it. 1-1 the score. Whipped in by Young, and it wasn't turned in from the edge of the 6-yard box. Defending on a touch in front of the Wrexham man. And Doncaster will clear upfield towards Hurst in a foot race in between two defenders. Goalkeeper came a long way. Defender Barnett took it off his feet right in front of us here, and then a risky back pass by Young. Howard did well to volley that clear the goalkeeper. Wrexham all over the place defensively. Doncaster have won it back in the middle of midfield with Marsh. He steered it wide to Broadbent. Broadbent's low ball in, well handled by Howard. It really could go either way this. Live on Talksport 2. Crawley 4, Newport 1. Kidderminster 1, Rochdale 1, and Forest Green 1, Crewe 4. All latest scores. You're up to date around the grounds, around the country. Oh, and finally the sun has dipped behind the clouds. I'm so pleased, Mickey.
Yeah, you can have a little bit of a breather now. There's a breeze coming across.
I promise, but not when it's like an oven.
But what a get, Joe. Full credit to these players. The energy levels that we've seen in this football match have been off the charts. They really have. and it's still going. It's end to end. Wrexham are trying to get the winning goal. Doncaster have made changes. They want to get the winning goal if they possibly can. I just look at that big man, little man, if you like, Fletcher and Mullen up front now for Wrexham. I think that chance is going to come for them before the end of this game.
The cool breeze making its way through the main stand. A few clouds in the sky now. 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Wrexham 1, Doncaster 1. It's been such an intriguing second half. And here come Doncaster. Marsh down the right. Ironside in the middle. It wasn't a great ball by Marsh. It was a little overhit. It was played into that corridor between goalkeeper and Ironside, but I think too close to the goalkeeper's side, really. And behind it went in the end for a goal kick, and Doncaster miss a good chance.
Yeah, it's a brilliant ball into the box. You're right, Joe. It's got a little bit too much pace on it, hasn't it? But Ironside as a centre forward, I'm thinking to myself, well, he's probably thinking, I've got to stay on side. So he stayed on line with the ball there, and he made his run a little bit too late, and albeit it did have a lot of pace on the ball there, and he was just starting to wave his arms around, wasn't he? Ironside to say, just take a little bit off it and I'm in on goal.
Here is Evans, formerly of Millwall and Derby County, just scooping it high and long downfield. The defender has let it bounce. It's headed away not entirely convincingly on that right side of defence by Bailey for Doncaster Rovers, but Wrexham have it in a position that for Doncaster really is relative safety. It's on the halfway line at the moment. Cleworth plays the ball square to Tozer. Wrexham playing from left to right with the red shirts on. Wrexham, who were hoping to move into the playoff positions in League 2 today, but if the game ends in a draw, they'll fail to do so, and it would be a fourth draw from 7 matches to begin the season for Phil Parkinson's team. Doncaster are going to stay bottom of the Football League, but it would be an excellent point, you feel, for them.
Absolutely. Grant will be really pleased with the performance today, albeit a couple of silly little mistakes. On a couple of occasions they got away with it, but you can see why Wrexham concede goals. They look a little bit loose at the back, don't they? I think the centre-halves have got to have a little bit more communication with each other at times. They split too wide for my liking, and the fullbacks play as fullbacks. They don't help the centre-halves out too much.
O'Connor on the left wing, the far side for Wrexham as we look at it. Plays it back to Lee. Lee rolls the ball infield to the feet of Fletcher, and then Lee curls it high over the top. Has been absolutely shanked by Lee. Barely went out for a goal kick. It was closer to the corner flag.
Leaning back a little bit too much. Good play initially. Nice little give and go. Worked it onto his right foot, but then just tried to curl it into the top corner and got it completely wrong. And that's the breather that Doncaster need at the moment.
We were talking about golf earlier, Mickey and I. That was like one of my 7 irons, Mickey.
Oh, you get them up in the air then?
Better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
Here is Cleworth to the right of the centre halves for Wrexham. We're in the 86th minute, 1-1 the score. Lovely flick by Fletcher. Infield, can't find Young. Evans beaten to the 50-50 by the sliding Westbrook, who's been excellent in midfield for Doncaster. Still work to do, though, for the visiting team. You still get the sense, as Wrexham's latest long ball comes to nothing, that there could be something on for Doncaster here, Mickey, maybe.
Yeah, because they're pushing too many players forward, Wrexham, and just waiting for that one opportunity. And again, the ball's being floated up here to Ironside, albeit it doesn't come to him, but that is the ball. There's going to be a chance before the end of this final whistle comes, and it's who's going to pick that opportunity and maybe pick up all 3 points.
Ball's on the right-hand side for Doncaster towards Marsh, and Marsh has threaded it up that far side channel, but there's no way, unfortunately, for Doncaster that Hurst can reach it, and it's a goal kick to Wrexham. Time continues to tick away. Just over 3 minutes plus stoppage time remaining now. 1-1 the score remains. Barnett has it 10 yards shy of halfway. Young was fouled by Westbrook in the build-up. Referee says just calm down, keep your head. And it's a free kick to Wrexham. Taken square by Cleworth. The Doncaster boss Grant McCann has been on the edge of his technical area for the entire game. Small technical areas in front of the main stand here with a couple of pillars in the way. Tozer, golden boots on, up to the halfway line. Long, high, diagonal ball driven downfield, headed away by Bailey. Second ball's retrieved by Evans for Wrexham. Wrexham have it now on the left with Lee. What sort of dynamism can he produce with his shuffling quick feet? He drives infield, it's a brilliant run, and it's a right footed deflected into the net to surely win the game for Wrexham. Elliot Lee from distance, it deflected past the goalkeeper. The second unfortunate goal that Doncaster conceded today, but Wrexham strike late and a surely going to take all 3 points. Wrexham 2, Doncaster 1.
Well, we said there was going to be an opportunity. Thought it might come for the centre forwards, but it hasn't. It's come from that man in midfield, Elliot Lee, who's been outstanding, I have to say. And he works the ball really well onto his right foot. Defenders can't get anywhere near him, and it's a super strike from the edge of the box. Little slight deflection that takes it away from Ian Lawler in that Doncaster goal, but when your luck is down, that's the type of things that happen. Brilliant goal, brilliant for Wrexham. And I think that shoots them into the playoff positions, which has catapulted them up this table.
Well, it's a desperate blow for Doncaster, but Elliot Lee with a moment of individual brilliance for Wrexham, and he's given them the lead with less than 2 minutes of normal time to go. There'll be a change up coming very shortly for Doncaster Rovers. They want to get Tyler Roberts onto the field, but they are heading for defeat. Exeter heading for defeat at home to Leyton Orient in League One. They trail 2-1, and they're going to lose top spot to Stevenage, who are in front still against Carlisle United.
Second yellow card, no?
It's a yellow card for Cleworth, the Wrexham defender.
Yeah.
And a free kick to Doncaster. So no second yellow card, but a booking for Cleworth. And a free kick to Doncaster in a dangerous position right on the corner of the penalty area here as they seek to equalise for the second time in the game. They've gone 2-1 down on Talksport 2 with 45 seconds left.
Well, I don't know why they've got players in their own opposition's half. Doncaster, they might as well go for it. You can see they've got somebody just sat in behind there, haven't they, Joe? But I think you just got to fill that 18-yard box and look for that equaliser.
Are they going to make the change before the free kick's taken? I think they are. Off goes George Broadbent. The number is up. Doncaster, I think, want to take the free kick, but the referee's saying you've got to make the change now that the numbers come up, and Tyler Roberts will come on. Chesterfield 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. Colchester 2, Tranmere 0. Swindon 5, Sutton 3. And Swindon have surely won that thriller at the county ground. So Roberts onto the field for Broadbent for Doncaster Rovers. They're 2-1 down. We've had the 90 minutes. Brett Westbrook's delivery to the far post, headed behind by Stephen Fletcher. Big important touch from the debutant. 8 added minutes.
Oh my goodness, I'm sure the players are thrilled to pieces to see more time being added on in this game. It's just been sweltering throughout the whole of this football match, but Stephen Fletcher there with a wonderful defensive header there, not brought on for that. We know he's very capable in both halves.
Westbrook's right-footed out-swinging corner up to the middle of the penalty area, cleared away by Tozer, not entirely convincingly, but Wrexham are on the break now. Opportunity for Mullin. He's got Lee to the left. Lee can't reach the loose pass. It's come back to Evans though. Back out wide left to Lee. Wrexham looking to finish Doncaster off. Fletcher and Mullin are in the middle. Lee gets to the dead ball line. He twists, he turns, he crosses. It's deflected. It's going to be steered away by Owen Bailey. Doncaster still just about in it. They're 2-1 down. A minute through 8 added at the very end of the game, and the racecourse is on its feet.
It's amazing, isn't it? You'd think Wrexham would just try and see the game out, try and tick these 8 minutes down as quick as they possibly can, but they're chasing for that third goal. They want to just see this game out. Brilliant little run there from Paul Mullin, shrugged a couple of players off, just got his pass wrong at the end of it. Elliot Lee made a great run down the left-hand side. Now it's Doncaster back on the attack.
Still hope maybe for the EFL's bottom team, but Wrexham have shown their quality ultimately at vital moments, and it may have taken a deflection, yes, but it was a fine strike by Elliot Lee from a long way out to beat the goalkeeper, and Wrexham are 2-1 up. The ball is at the feet of Doncaster's Owen Bailey inside the centre circle. Nearly 2 of the 8 added minutes have been played. Bailey allowed to race unchallenged down the middle, to spray it wide to the left, and Kyle Hurst who's just come back from injury. Infield to Marsh, he's blocked off. Cleared away by Evans upfield. Mullin let it run. Fletcher could be clear. Fletcher jinks away from Westbrook. It's 2 against 2. Mullin just inside the penalty area. Touch was heavy. Anderson gets across. It's gone out of play. I think a Wrexham throw by the corner flag. He'll get there, Paul Mullin. He's just not quite there yet, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, there's a little bit of rustiness, isn't it? That first touch had to be better. Super little trick from Stephen Fletcher, who also had the chance to run him 1v1 if he wanted to. We saw his striking partner there. He wanted to play him in. Really unfortunate. The 2 guys up front for them just didn't quite get it right.
It was a Wrexham throw. Barnett's got it back from Fletcher. Barnett crosses. Flicked header away by Anderson. A brave header clear. Loose ball has dropped for Lee. Wriggles away from 2 in black. Lee might get the return from Fletcher. Fletcher goes for goal and very nearly finds it. Oh, he nearly picked out the top corner on his debut there. Stephen Fletcher. It was an inch wide of the post via deflection. Wrexham corner. Wrexham lead 2-1. 3 minutes into 8 added.
Superb from Stephen Fletcher, showing his quality with that left foot. He just used the disguise run, didn't he, to get away from his marker, worked that ball onto his left foot, and he tried to whip it into the top corner. Slight deflection, took it away from the goal, but excellent opportunity.
Stevenage 2, Carlisle 2. Dramatic equaliser for Carlisle in League One. Stevenage high flyers this season. Corner to Wrexham, whipped in high, crowded 6-yard box. Nobody can get the vital touch in a red shirt to turn it home, but the loose ball is at the feet of Tozer. Down by the dead ball line, the University end is on its feet, and it's been knocked behind by Hurst for another Wrexham corner, and this is helping them play out time very efficiently now. They lead 2-1. What a brilliant second half it's been, Mickey Gray.
I think it's been a great game, I have to say. Take the conditions into consideration. The players have given absolutely everything, but you're right, it's opened up more in the second half. There's been opportunities at both ends, and it's all about capitalising on the one that you do get.
Luke Young is going to take the corner. It'll be right-footed and out swinging. The Wrexham fans would love another goal to celebrate here. Headed away to the edge of the box by Doncaster. It's dropped for Lee. Lee chips it back out wide to Young again. Young controls. He's got plenty of time and space to whip in the cross. Good block by the defender, but it's come back to Young to loop that one in high. Boyle at the far post couldn't quite reach it. Cleared away by Hurst, but Doncaster need the ball in their possession. They're 2-1 down. Wrexham have it back. Well, if you like what you've heard today on Talksport 2, our EFL coverage is comprehensive across the course of the season. Dedicated shows and 120 commentaries on the network, including Southampton against Leicester, Cardiff against Swansea and Millwall against Leeds, all live on a bumper EFL weekend on the network next weekend. Make sure you join us.
Joe, there's nobody does EFL better than Talksport. I have to say that. I saw a little bit on social media yesterday, not mentioning any names, but when we get the opportunity, we're here. And this has been an absolutely brilliant game.
You heard it from the man himself. We love the EFL on the Talksport network. We're your home of the EFL, exclusive to national radio. Here is Biggins for Doncaster. Last knockings here, less than 3 minutes of stoppage time remain. They're 2-1 down. Ball is scooped forward by Senior down the right-hand side. An opportunity now for Westbrook to tease it back into the path of Senior. Senior chips in the cross, deep to the far post, headed away, drops to Hurst. Hurst angled tight, he's blocked. Blewett got in the way, just about at the vital moment to clear. And then it's driven out of play by Barnett. The pressure still on Wrexham. Phil Parkinson to the edge of his technical area. 1 or 2 in the crowd now finally starting to head for the exits. It's not quite done yet.
If you're going to win football matches, Joe, that is how you have to defend. Defend your lead, throw your body on the line. Great play again from Doncaster down that right-hand side. Brilliant ball into the box. You've just got to throw your body on the line. Just tick out these minutes and you will hear the cheer at the end of this game.
The Welsh national anthem echoes around the 3 sides of the racecourse ground. Wrexham are going to head into the playoff positions as it stands. They'll also be 6 unbeaten in the league following that opening day defeat. Doncaster looking for a very late equaliser. Last 40 seconds now for Doncaster. Rather, last minute and 40 seconds rather. Westbrook floats the ball down the right-hand side. Ball is pulled back to Maud's Marsh. Marsh, the substitute in the area, couldn't reach it. It's come out to the edge of the penalty area though. And here's an opportunity for the cross from the right-hand side. It's chipped in high. It's blocked. It's gone behind. It is a corner to Doncaster right at the very end.
Well, superb play again for Tom Nixon down that right-hand side. Put some 2 lovely balls into the box this occasion. Got blocked. You can see the determination to try and get that equalising goal.
2-1 to Wrexham. Doncaster corner, last minute. Driven into the near post. Little touch on it by Bailey, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. That might just about be that. Grant McCann looks on in despair. Even the goalkeeper, Lorna, at the other end of the field, puts his hands to his face. Bailey darted in, but he couldn't get the crucial touch, and maybe that sums up Doncaster in the end.
Yeah, just that quality in the final third, putting the ball in the back of the net, which is why they're so difficult to find these strikers who get the 20 goals a season for you. But they've certainly asked the question today, Doncaster. No doubt about it, they've competed against one of the sides who were favourites to get promoted. And I think that's one of the positives, no doubt, that Grant McCann will take out of this game today.
The racecourse is rocking now. It looks like Gillingham have got a late winner at home to Harrogate in League 2. 1-0 Gillingham lead in stoppage time. There'll be 5 defeats in 6 in League 2 for Harrogate. Gillingham bouncing back from back-to-back defeats. Doncaster going long, seeking equaliser. 2-1 down. We've now had the 8 minutes of stoppage time. This is it for Doncaster. Ball whipped in by Nixon. Headed away by Boyle for Wrexham. All eyes are on the referee. Barnett's got there. Knocks it up the right touchline. Fletcher's on the chase. Wrexham fans out of their seats. Mullins calling for it in the middle. Fletcher was fouled by Anderson. Cynically so. And Anderson here is going to get a yellow card. And that is surely that. Wrexham 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely yellow cards. Stonewaller, great play from Wrexham down this right hand side. Stephen Fletcher showing he's still a young man at heart, making a great run down the right hand side, just using his experience, holding the ball up. He knew that he was going to be committing a foul there, and it just slows everything down, and I think we're moments away from this final whistle now, John.
Everywhere you look, there are Wrexham fans on their feet all around the stadium. And that is the final whistle. Wrexham have won on a thrilling afternoon of football in the EFL on Talksport 2. It was a cracker of a game here at the racecourse ground. Phil Parkinson comes onto the field to applaud the Wrexham fans. They needed their supporters late on, but Wrexham get the job done by the odd goal in 3, and they move into the League 2 playoff positions, and they are now 6 games unbeaten. Doncaster stay bottom, rooted to the foot of the Football League. They battled hard today, with Mo Fowl having cancelled out Luke Young's heavily deflected opener for the home team. But Doncaster, despite showing plenty of spirit, just couldn't keep out Wrexham, and the home side's never say die attitude. And with 2 minutes to go, it was Elliot Lee who, from range, again via a slight deflection on this occasion, lashed home the winner. Wrexham 2, Doncaster 1. The Wrexham celebrations can begin, led by Paul Mullin back on the field. Lest we forget, after injury, it's all rosy at the racecourse ground, Mickey Gray.